All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome this afternoon to our first of two races of our live commentary schedule. And today, the NASCAR Xfinity Series will take place at the Richmond Raceway, the action track, for another short track race on the season. Our first below 1 mile in length on a racetrack, as it is the running of the ToyotaCare 250 here today. We are moments away from the drop of the green flag. The command to fire engines just happened moments ago, so we'll quickly roll through the starting lineup of today's race after a bit of a rain delay to start things off today. The race was supposed to start a little over a half hour ago, but better late than never. Practice and qualifying was rained out earlier this morning for the Xfinity Series as well, so the starting lineup is based off of NASCAR's points format, or I should say, based off of NASCAR's format for the procedure in which they go to when qualifying and practice is rained out to set the starting lineup. It is based off of where you are in owner's points for the car number, the driver's points, and where you finished the prior week. So that will give Justin Allgaier another pole yet this season. He'll be starting out in front today. Sammy Smith will be on the outside of the front row. Allgaier still searching for his first win of the Xfinity Series season. Sammy Smith with one win this year, both running for the Dash for Cash today. Sam Mayer and Riley Herbst will be in row 2. Sam Mayer also another driver who is running for the Dash for Cash this weekend. And Riley Herbst with one of his best starting positions on the year. Daniel Hemrick and Sheldon Creed will be in row 3. Hemrick is the fourth and final driver in the Dash for Cash. He'll be also starting in the top 5 today. Sheldon Creed still searching for that first career win in the Xfinity Series. This is a track that suits his driving style, so we'll see if he can run well today. Josh Berry and Chandler Smith will be in row number 4, still looking for each of their first wins of the season as well. Brandon Jones and John Hunter Nemechek back in row number 5. Nemechek had a win at Auto Club in the second race of the season. Derek Kraus and Jeremy Clements in row 6. Kraus making his first career start in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for Colleague Racing in the number 10 car. As the first time in Xfinity, or I should say a non-Cup Series regular, has ran that 10 car for Colleague this season. Anthony Alfredo and Parker Retzlaff back in row number 7. Joe Graff Jr. will be driving the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. He'll be on the inside of row number 8 with Jeb Burton to his outside. Ryan Sieg and Austin Hill back in row number 9. Hill, a 3-time winner already this season with wins at Daytona, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. Connor Mosack making another start in the Xfinity Series this year in the 24 car. Parker Kligerman will be starting to his outside. Pretty good season for him going so far. They will start in row number 10. Row number 11 will be Kaz Grala and Cole Custer. Ryan Ellis and Brett Moffitt back in row 12. Row 13, Kyle Sieg and Josh Williams. Williams back after his one-race suspension from a week ago. Blaine Perkins and Leland Honeyman will be in row 14. Chris Hacker, and Brennan Poole will be in row 15. Greg Goldie and Alex LeBay in row 16. Patrick Emmerly and Jeffrey Earnhardt in row 17. Joey Gay, Stephen Parsons, row 18. Garrett Smithley and Mason Maggio will round out the field in row 18. They're dialing up Justin Allgaier. You guys will get to listen in. In the Fox booth today, Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano with Adam Alexander as the race is on FS1.
Stay up front here in the top 5 for at least a little bit early to try to figure out what the car has, what the track has, and everything like that. But really it all depends on what these two in front of me do. They want to go out there at a blistering pace a little first a little bit. I might let them go. But if I feel like if I have a car to go out there and be as fast as Xfinity 10G unit is, I think I'm going to go out there and try to lead this thing.
Talking with Sam Mayer, my bad.
Buddy. Have a good race. We'll be watching, and good luck with your chase of that $100,000 today.
Yes, sir. 100 keys. Big for this organization. Looking forward to it.
Qualifying rained out early.
Thought they were talking to Allgaier. I had the TV muted, so I wasn't actually able to listen to the race audio from the Fox booth leading up to that. Now I have it in my ear, so now I can hear it. Mike George, Hopeful, Wade Selinsky, Mark DeMars, JC1424, Dark Crypto, Jeff Sperry, Heather Herman, and Weather Expert Gaming, welcome into the stream. Patrick Chatterley, welcome as well.
And that's because he's won here twice in the past. Not only is he going for the win, though, he's also one of those dash for the cash drivers. He said the easiest way to make sure he gets that money, that's just to simply win the race, Regan. Just win it.
Well, Josh, one of the hottest drivers this season is that of Riley Herbst. 6 races, 6 top 10s, including a week ago at Circuit of the Americas, a track that he admittedly has struggled at. Now this week, they come to the track that he calls his favorite track on the circuit, Richmond, a place that he always looks forward to. Couple of top 5s here. Keep an eye on Riley Herbst today as they look to get him that first career win in the 98 car.
You look at Riley Herbst, and a couple of weeks ago, we were doing a race, Joey, and you said if you take the numbers off the car, you can still tell who's driving him, and he's a guy that maybe you wouldn't recognize because he's gone through so much growth this season.
Absolutely. He's come out this year as a completely different driver. Over the past few years, we've seen Riley with some speed to show some signs of hope, but something would always happen. He'd make a mistake. He's really cleaned up the way he's been racing lately, and you see the results and in the points as well, that he's really starting to get more out of the car and get the finishes of where he's actually running on the track.
Starting outside row 2 in the 4th position as we take a look at our race analysis today.
250 laps, 187 miles, the scheduled race distance today. 75 laps in each Stage 1, Stage 2. 100 laps in the final stage, pit road speed of 40 miles per hour. Competition caution will be at lap 35. Again, remember, practice and qualifying rained out earlier this morning. Fuel window, 138 to 40 laps. So this race will be started on the slick tires. I do remember them stating in the pre-race. So the track is completely dry. They will not be starting this race on rain tires, despite the shower that had postponed the start of today's race. I'm not sure exactly what the protocol is for NASCAR and what dictates whether they can race in the rain or not. Somebody mentioned in the chat earlier maybe there was lightning. That could have been possible, but I didn't hear anything from anybody at Fox, at least. They didn't tell us exactly what was going on. I don't know if they really knew exactly what was going on with what the race was supposed to start, virtue of the delay, but whatever the case is, we're getting to racing now. Lights are out on the pace car. They will be going green this time by. Mark DeMars, welcome into the stream also. Ezio, welcome as well. First of 2 races today, the Truck Series will be at the Texas Motor Speedway on Fox Sports 1 a little bit later on at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will go live then for the start of that race. And IndyCar racing at Texas tonight after the truck race as well. So standalone truck event with the Cup and the Xfinity Series at Richmond. Pace car onto pit road. Allgaier Lexi inside lane for the start of today's race. We'll see if he can get his first win as he'll lead the field to the green. We are racing at Richmond. Short track style for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The ToyotaCare 250 down into turns 1 and 2 easily. Justin Allgaier going to be able to clear Sammy Smith to his outside. Smith making his first laps on this racetrack. Has never made a start in the Xfinity Series at Richmond. With practice and qualifying rained out, we'll see how he'll fare in the early going. Sam Mayer, who has 1 year of Xfinity Series experience, is underneath him in the battle for second place right off the start, and Allgaier leads lap 1 by about 2 car lengths. Smith still on the outside. Mayer is down on the bottom in that side-by-side battle for second. Daniel Hemrick and Riley Herbst are also racing side-by-side off of turn 2 before Herbst drops in line behind him, and Hemrick will take over the 4th place position. Most of the cars down on the bottom lane throughout the top 10 to 15 cars. A couple of them still side-by-side as we're now 3 laps already in the books. Sammy Smith is starting to reel in Justin Allgaier just a little bit over these last couple of laps. Once he was able to actually get down to the bottom lane, and he's going to go after Allgaier for the lead and easily take it away, coming to the start-finish line at the end of lap 3. Daniel Hemrick and Sam Mayer side-by-side. Allgaier dropping back in a hurry, as he's got side-by-side traffic behind him trying to hold up the bottom lane. Sam Mayer gets a good drive off of turn 2, gets to the outside of Allgaier, and also cleared the 11 of Hemrick. Top 4 in the dash for cash, 1 through 4 on the leaderboard right now. A little bit of contact potentially made off of turn 4 between Allgaier and Mayer. They were very close together. Not a lot of grip on this Richmond surface. It was last repaved back in 2000. Very old. You're going to see a lot of tire fall off today, and most of the time we get cautions, you'll be seeing pit stops. No caution for this, but Joe Graff Jr. has a flat left front tire. It is sparking. He's trying to get down to the bottom of the racetrack into pit road as the rest of the field powers by. He finally is able to get there. Tough break for Joe Graff Jr., who's made a couple of good starts in that 19 car already this year for Joe Gibbs Racing. A little bit of contact on the right side of his car as well. Might have gotten crunched between a couple cars. Maybe not, actually. Looked like he got into the wall in turns 1 and 2, and I think it was because the left front tire was already down going into the corner. So Joe Graf Jr. cuts a left front tire in the middle of 1 and 2, pounds the outside wall. We do stay green, but quite a bit of damage on that Joe Gibbs Racing 19 car. And not a good start for that team so far today, as he'll go a couple laps down on pit road as they try to pull the fenders out and put 4 fresh Goodyears back on it. Sammy Smith, though, after taking the lead, Mayer got the second. Allgaier is still in third place at the front of the field. They're separated by about 1 second from each other. Graf Jr. is now making his way back onto the racetrack as he will be a couple laps down. He'll cycle into the middle of the field. 3 wide right around Cole Custer and Ryan Sieg with the 19 coming out of the pits. Daniel Hemrick going to make the pass on Justin Allgaier for third place off of turn 4. So the pole sitter Allgaier in 9 laps has gone from first back to fourth. He was my pick to win today's race. Tina Martin, thanks for tuning in also. So they're showing a little bit of contact that was made in the first couple laps of the race between Cole Custer and Joe Graf Jr. That might have been what cut the 19's left front tire down, which caused him to hit the wall about a lap or 2 later. They were 3 wide getting into the corner. It didn't look like Custer had a lot of room in that middle lane, and that's what ended up causing the contact between him and Joe Graf. Hemrick now going to take over second place from Sam Mayer in the number 1, so Hemrick on the move, as he is in P2. I think one car just fell a lap down. Might have been Joe Graf Jr. again, actually. So Joe Graf Jr. a couple laps down already. 3 to be exact. Sammy Smith now out to a 1.5 second lead. The lap car in between himself and Daniel Hemrick. It's slightly fresher tires on Joe Graf Jr.'s race car. This could help Sammy Smith get out to a really big lead. First full-time season for Sammy Smith in the Xfinity Series. Ran part-time for Joe Gibbs Racing last year in that same number 18 car. Had some impressive starts that got him the ride full-time this year with some extra sponsorship on the side. And making the most of it early on as he got that first win at Phoenix, which was the only track we have gone to 1 mile and less in length. So coming into today's race, probably could have expected him to have another good run, and he's off to a good start. Of course, leading in the early going of today's ToyotaCare 250. Still a 1.5 second lead, it looks like, between Sammy Smith and Daniel Hemrick. We'll see if Sammy's going to be able to take control of things, though, over the course of this first stage, or if we get closer into the longer run, the tires start to fan out. Maybe he's driving a little too hard in the early going and he'll start to fade. Fox going to a full screen commercial break. We'll stay right here with the action. Sammy Smith is your race leader, 1.3 seconds over Daniel Hemrick in second at the start-finish line that last time by lap 15 of 230. Lap 15 of 250 today, 235 still to go. And again, 75 laps in stage 1. So Hemrick is in second, John Hunter Nemechek is in third place, Chandler Smith is fourth, Sam Mayer fifth, and Justin Allgaier has already dropped 5 spots back to 6th. Riley Herbst in 7th, Josh Berry 8th, Sheldon Creed 9th, and Derek Kraus is 10th. Brandon Jones in 11th, Cole Custer in 12th, 13th is Anthony Alfredo, Ryan Sieg 14th, Jeremy Clements is 15th. Austin Hill in 16th, Jeb Burton 17th, Kaz Gralla 18th, Brett Moffitt 19th, and Alex Bay is 20th. Josh Williams in 21st, Ryan Ellis 22nd, Parker Retzlaff 23rd, Blaine Perkins is in 24th, Connor Mosack 25th, Parker Kligerman 26th, Jeffrey Earnhardt 27th, 28th is Chris Hacker, Kyle Segan 29th, and Joey Gase is 30th. Greg Galding in 31st, Leland Honeyman 32nd, Stephen Parsons 33rd, Brandon Poole 34th, Patrick Emmerling 35th, 36th is Mason Maggio, Garrett Smithley 37th, and then the only car a lap down is Joe Graf Jr. 3 laps down after getting into the wall after cutting a left front tire. Still caution free in the early going of today's race, just 7.5 minutes in. Smith about a tenth quicker than Hemrick that last lap once again. Fastest lap of the race for Smith was a 23.174. That last lap, a 24.676. Already over a second and a half of fall off. Remember, this is a green racetrack as well, considering not only we had the rain earlier today, but also no practice or qualifying for either the Cup or the Xfinity Series to this point for today. And I think the modifieds are supposed to race actually at Richmond after the Xfinity Series race is up today. So if there's no inclement weather or anything of that nature overnight, that will be all the rubber laid down on the track before tomorrow's Cup race. Remember, competition yellow, though, at lap 35. We'll be seeing some pit stops at that point in time. We're 15 laps away from that as of right now. So I guess Sammy Smith can push as hard as he really wants to, because he doesn't really have to worry about too much tire fall off. I mean, there's a lot of tire fall off, but doesn't have to worry about losing too much time over the course of a long run, because we know that this first stage is pretty much going to be split in half. Corey Free, thanks for tuning in. Mark Witkowski, welcome into the stream as well. I'm unaware of what you're talking about with Sheldon Creed. I did not get to watch the Dakota race last week at all, so I don't know what if you're talking of something from the track that weekend. Couldn't do commentary like we were originally expecting for last week's doubleheader between the Truck and the Xfinity Series at COTA. Did the Truck Series commentary, and then for the Xfinity race, when I was supposed to go live about a half hour before that, the power got knocked out at my house. And so I didn't have any internet, no way of watching the race until about hour and a half or so after the race was over. I finally got the power back on. We had some high winds, so it's very windy again today. Hopefully we don't have that issue again. But kind of a freak thing. Had a couple thunderstorms already pass through over the last 24 hours, so I think we're going to be good to go for this afternoon's coverage. Chandler Smith up to third place now. Sam Mayer also dropping back with his teammate Justin Allgaier. John Hunter Nemechek has moved up to fourth place during the commercial break as well. And now Riley Herbst to the inside of Allgaier as well. I'll tell you what, Allgaier and Mayer probably cannot wait to get to that lap 35 comp yellow with how many spots they are losing in the early going. Now, Josh Berry doesn't seem to be falling back quite as much as those other two. He's stayed stagnated around 7th or 8th this whole time, and he's actually closed the gap on Justin Allgaier as well, as he'll get to the outside of the 7 after Herbst is clear to move back into 6th place. 1.7 second lead at the line now for Sammy Smith. Again, your top 5 right now, lap 25. Sammy Smith is in the lead by 1.5 seconds over Daniel Hemrick. Chandler Smith in third, John Hunter Nemechek fourth, and Sam Mayer is in 5th place. Nine laps away now from the comp yellow. Rowdy Fan 8, thanks for tuning in. Earl Arnold Jr. and Brett Whiteside's also welcome into the stream. See you guys voting as well in the poll and in the chat if you picked other for who you think will win today's race. Be sure to cast your vote at the end of stage 2. We'll close that poll as usual.
I also have a pretty bad vibration now.
It was Sam Mayer's radio talking about potentially having a vibration in the left rear. He still remains in 5th. Berry passed Allgaier last lap for 7th place. Allgaier back to 8th. Derek Krause up a couple spots from the start of the race. Creed also down 4. And Cole Custer up 8 spots so far, moving to 12th. Again, your 4 Dash for Cash drivers this weekend racing for $100,000. The winner of these 4 will receive that prize. Sammy Smith, Daniel Hemrick, Sam Mayer, and Justin Allgaier. And then the top 4 from today's race will have a chance to race for the Dash for Cash again in the next race. The Xfinity Series is off next weekend for Easter. They will be at Martinsville next. So back-to-back short track races for the Xfinity Series. So the top 4 from today will compete for $100,000 at Martinsville in 2 weeks for the Dash for Cash. But the winner of the 4 today, whether they finish in the top 4 or not, will earn that $100,000 grand prize. First of 3 races consecutively that they'll be able to race for it. Martinsville will be the second, and then Talladega will be the final race. Dash for Cash got set up last week based off the top 4 finishers that are currently full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series from last week's race at COTA. So even though AJ Allmendinger won the race because he is a Cup regular, he could not compete for the prize. Derek Kraus in the 10 car again this weekend, making his first career Xfinity Series start. Ryan Sieg passes Cole Custer for position now to the inside of another Chevrolet. Sheldon Creed in the number 2. Still dropping back. Brandon Jones just passed him last lap, and now Sieg looking to get around him in turns 3 and 4. Hemrick has closed the gap slowly on Sammy Smith, down to about 6 to 7 tenths of a second. Smith isn't really dealing with ridiculously heavy lap traffic. Austin Hill, who started back at row 9 for today's race, up to 14th. He's gained a handful of positions. He rides in line behind Creed and Custer, who are side by side in front of him. Brandon Jones now to the outside of Justin Allgaier going into turn 1. I think Justin's going to try to give him that outside lane. But Allgaier definitely struggling here in the early going. I've noticed the 39 car of Ryan Sieg has been smoking in the middle of the corners a little bit. Not sure exactly what that is from. I don't know if it's a tire rub. It looks like it's coming out from underneath the car, but hopefully no major issues with Sieg. We're at lap 35. At the conclusion of this lap, once everybody on the lead lap crosses the start-finish line, that is when the yellow flag will be indicated. Hemrick's still about a half a second behind Sammy Smith, though, so he's not going to be able to get to him in time before the caution flag. But definitely started to close that gap a little bit over the last 5 laps or so leading up to the caution. Sam Mayer going to get passed by Josh Berry now, dropping Mayer back to 7th. Berry moves into P6, and now the caution flag is out. So, first yellow of the day, cop caution as scheduled for lap 35. We are there now at the completion of lap 35. No practice or qualifying for the truck, or I should say the trucks had practice or qualifying earlier today at Texas. But no practice or qualifying for the Xfinity or the Cup Series at Richmond this weekend. Inclement weather all throughout the morning hours and leading up to early afternoon, which is why the race got postponed about half hour, 45 minutes or so. We'll be seeing the field on pit road this time. Yeah, I would imagine everybody's coming to pit road here. I don't think anybody's going to be saving a set. We've seen a lot of fall off already. Almost 2 seconds worth. Although we do have some drivers staying out. A couple of the JGR cars staying out. John Nemechek, Sammy Smith, pretty much everybody else is coming in. This is going to be interesting.
Sam Mayer came over the radio earlier having issues with that turning and that steering. Also a bad vibration. They're going to give him 4 tires of fuels, see if they can help him out as far as the 11 of Daniel Hemrick. He just needs to carry a little more speed into 1 and 2. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment in the front to help him out, Regan.
Well, the 16 of Chandler Smith off to a great start of this race. Right now, he loves the drive off in the corner, says that is good, but the lateral grip is a little bit too loose in that race car, meaning the back that wants to slide too much needs a little help rolling the center of the corners.
The race off pit road, and this will be to see who starts behind those drivers that stayed on track. Riley Herbst +2.
There you go. Herbst wins the race off pit road. Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, biggest gainers in the top 10, up 4 spots. Sam Mayer down 4. And Justin Allgaier falls out of the top 10 as well. So only 2 cars stayed out of the pits. That was Sammy Smith and John Hunter Nemechek. A couple of Joe Gibbs Racing teammates. They're going to try to save a set of tires for today's race. So they will not pit unless we get another caution. before the end of the stage, or they're going to just try to run these final 35 laps out to the end of the stage, they could be in danger of going a lap down. We have seen about 2 seconds of fall off already in the first 35 laps of the race, so I don't know if this is a wise decision. And we don't know exactly how many cautions we're going to get today. If we do get quite a few yellows, this will play into Sammy Smith and John Hunter Nemechek's favor. If we don't get a lot of cautions in today's race, though, it could be to their detriment. Just over 60 people watching right now. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Again, this is our first of 3 live commentary streams this weekend, and the first of 2 on this Saturday afternoon. The Truck Series will be racing at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. They get the second race of the doubleheader, but they are at the Texas Motor Speedway running a double header with IndyCar later on tonight. So again, Trucks at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on the channel, live on KRC, and then also the Cup Series live commentary stream will start tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Plenty of racing still to go, though, in this first race at Richmond for the Xfinity Series. Sammy Smith taking control early. Pole sitter Justin Allgaier led the first 2 laps before Sammy Smith has led every lap since. And again, split strategy right now with the Joe Gibbs Toyotas versus everybody else. They're going to save a set of tires. I'm not sure exactly how many sets these teams have for this weekend, if it's 3 or 4, but I would imagine probably 4 considering how much fall off there is at Richmond. But if we don't get a lot of cautions, they're not even going to come close to using them all, considering that there won't be any green flag stops more than likely throughout the course of the stages today. I mean, maybe we see drivers try to make it a little bit. The fuel window's over 100 laps, so they can go Stage 2 and Stage 3 without having to pit. And the main reason they all pitted now, again, was because we had the comp yellow anyway. So Austin Hill was caught speeding on pit road. He'll be dropping to the rear of the field on the restart. Uncontrolled tire penalty for Brendan Poole as well. So he will go to the back. Sammy Smith will be on the inside. Nemechek on the outside of row 1 for the restart. And then Riley Herbst and Daniel Hemrick in row 2. Herbst elects the bottom. Hemrick on the top. Chandler Smith and Josh Berry in row 3. Row 4 will be Brandon Jones, Sheldon Creed, and then row 5, Derek Kraus and Sam Mayer. Frank Powers, welcome into the stream also. Hill was just outside the top 10 before the Cop Yellow as well. Started 18th today. Who will take control of the restart? And how far back will the JGR Toyotas of Smith and Nemechek fall on 35-lap older tires? We'll have 33 laps to go in Stage 1 when they go green. Through the Geico restart zone, Smith gets the power down. Nemechek spins his tires on the restart. 4 wide on the front stretch. Chandler Smith down to the apron trying to get by the 98 and the 11. Nemechek already loses 3 or 4 spots going into the first turn, and he's getting freight trained. Up the middle goes Riley Herbst to the lead off turn 2 as he clears Sammy Smith and Daniel Hemrick as well. Crazy move getting down into turn 1 as well behind them between Custer and Berry as they almost make contact. Berry was stuck behind the 18 of Smith. Straight backwards they go as they are moving chicanes with the rest of the field on fresher tires after 2 seconds of fall off in the first 35 laps. That's about how much slower lap they're going to be compared to the leaders. Chandler Smith now trying to go after the lead on Herbst, who led that last lap. Side by side into turns 3 and 4. Chandler Smith has his left side tires pinned onto that yellow line on the inside of 3 and 4 and stays alongside of Herbst on the front stretch. AJ Allmendinger won at Richmond last year for Call League Racing. Both Call League cars in the 16 and 10 off to good starts today as well. Inside the top 10. Smith to the lead in turn 1 as he cleared Riley Herbst that last time. And now Herbst with a block going into turns 3 and 4 on the bottom lane, trying to keep Daniel Hemrick behind him. Should say all 3 Kaulig cars inside the top 10. Kraus lost a couple spots at restart. I think he got pinned behind John or Nemechek. He actually fell back to 18th, but he was in the top 10 initially. Chandler Smith leading for the first time today. Already our 4th different leader in the first 40 laps. Yes, this is the first start for Kraus in the Xfinity Series. Custer up 5 spots just from the restart alone to move into P6. John Hunter Nemechek is already back to 29th. I don't think that's a wise call. Like I said, I think that they're going to be in danger of going a lap down. I think they're easily going to go a lap down before the end of this stage. And if they both go a lap down, one of them will get the free pass and the other will not. And as of right now, the free pass would be for Sammy Smith if they both end up going a lap down because he is ahead of Nemechek in the running order. Smith is back at 23rd and still dropping back. Still 28 laps to go in the stage. Grawl and Kligerman side by side for 10th on screen. Been side by side for about a lap and a half now. Gralla trying to pin the 48 down on the racetrack by the exit of turn 2. Ryan Sieg's car still smoking a little bit. Could be him locking the brakes up too. I'm not entirely sure, but I've noticed his car's been smoking even before the comp yellow, and following it, there's still a little bit of smoke, specifically off the exit of the corner. Austin Hill, Josh Williams, getting by Sammy Smith. Smith is now back to 30th. Still has a couple spots to lose. Think any WWE legends will show up at Mania? Yes or no? Who? I mean, I'm sure there will be. There's already a couple of them in matches this weekend too. Maybe The Rock shows up. They're in Hollywood. I could see that happening. That'd be wild if he did. Depending on the situation, of course. But the whole bloodline situation, though, going on, that would be interesting if he interferes in any way in the title match between him and Cody. Got 80 people watching right now. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 23 laps to go yet. Stage 1 of our ToyotaCare 250 at Richmond for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. John Nemechek has slowly caught Sammy Smith now, but so are the leaders as they are coming around. Those two are already 14 seconds off the race lead. Last lap, Chandler Smith ran a 24.329. And the last lap that John Nemechek ran was about a second slower. So about a second a lap difference right now between the race leaders and then John Nemechek and Sammy Smith. And now they're side by side between each other, Smith and Nemechek. Speaking of side by side, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier battling for 7th place on track. Allgaier up a few spots from the restart after dropping outside the top 10. Remember, started on the pole, fell back to about 10th place before the caution came out at lap 35. Lost a few more spots on pit road. He is now up to 7th as he gets by Custer. Side by side commercial break this time, so we'll keep our live commentary coverage going for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Richmond. Riley Herbst is not falling behind the 16 too far. He's still within about 3 to 4 tenths of a second, which is really about 3 or 4 car lengths on the 16. And they are a full second and a half ahead of Brandon Jones, who had just passed Daniel Hemrick for 3rd place recently. Josh Berry now in the top 5 for the first time as well. The big question right now is whether Jonathan Nemechek and Sammy Smith, who each have top 5 race cars, Smith maybe even the best car in the field, based off the first 35 laps when he took control and was pulling away with the lead. They stayed out during the comp yellow trying to conserve a set of tires. think these Xfinity Series teams each have 4 sets to use for this race today. So they're conserving a set, but they are in danger of going a lap down. They will go a lap down if we don't get a caution, because Nemechek is 17.5 seconds off the race lead in 33rd right now. And again, the lap times per lap, 24.6 to 25.4. 0.8 of a second was the difference between Nemechek and Chandler Smith that last lap, but we still have 17 to go in the stage. And they're only about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of the leaders. Yeah, I mean, I think they knew that they were going to lose positions. I think the hope was that they were just going to be on the lead lap before the end of the stage, but considering we restarted with 33 to go in the stage, I don't know how they thought they were going to stay on the lead lap. I think we saw this in the Cup Series a couple years ago at Richmond too with Keselowski, with Penske, his last year there. I thought that they tried a similar strategy to this in stage 2, I think, and they ended up losing like a lap or two before the end of the stage, and they ended up, they had a good chance to maybe, an outside chance to win, but they were top 5, top 10 all day, and they were trapped a lap down the rest of the race. And of course, with these Xfinity Series races being a lot shorter than the Cup Series, I don't even know if, you can't guarantee these guys are going to get back on the lead lap, especially if they both go a lap down, along with some other cars in the field too, because they would have to be in the free pass position. Mason Maggio just went a lap down. Stephen Parsons got lapped during this run. Greg Gaulding just pulled off track. And then Joe Graf Jr. is a few laps down, of course, after having that flat left front tire a couple laps into the race. Chandler Nemechek is scored 32nd, Sammy Smith 34th. And Smith is the last car in the lead lap as we run. Now he's just past Brendan Poole for 33rd. Still sounds like there's an issue with the rear of Sim Mayer's race car. He was talking about a potential vibration in the left rear before the cop yellow, and he still feels something is off inside that race car. Yeah, Hertz has been within a half a second of Chandler Smith pretty much this entire run. And Brandon Jones actually was a little bit quicker than both cars a couple laps ago. They're all running very similar lap times, really the top 4. All running 24.8s, 24.7s the last couple laps. Smith a little bit slower now than the 3 cars behind him for position that last lap, and the gap closed to 0.3 of a second at the line. Remember, Chandler Smith didn't have a very good long-run car at Vegas, costing him a chance to win the race. 2 laps to go in that one. Austin Hill ran him down. He was 3 seconds off the lead with 20 to go. Allgaier finished second that day, also ran him down, so not even a top 2 finish for Chandler Smith. And we're seeing Riley Herbst maybe a little bit better at this point in the run with 10 laps to go yet in stage 1. Brandon Jones quicker than each of the top 2, though. The last lap cut the lead down to 1.3 seconds. He was 1.7 back just about 2 laps ago, so about 0.2 of a second quicker the last 2 laps. Mayer and Nemechek still trying to hold on to the lead lap. You know Chandler Smith's got to be pushing hard to put those 2 a lap down, considering how fast that those 2 have of race cars in this one. Free passes awarded to only one of those 2 drivers if they both go a lap down. Nemechek is still about a second ahead of Smith. Four-car battle right now for 6 between Custer, Creed, Allgaier, and Sieg. Stage points awarded for the top 10. And about 8 more laps, make that 7 to go on this 3/4 mile short track. Josh Berry passed Daniel Hemrick a couple laps ago, actually, for 4th. Didn't even realize that. Might have been during the commercial break. Hemrick now 4.5 seconds back. Chandler Smith putting the bumper to Sammy. Smith putting the bumper to Smith all the way through 3 and 4, trying to move him out of the way. Not wasting any time. He knows how important it is to put those two cars a lap down. Plus, he's got a couple breathing down his neck for the stage win. Herbst was able to close the gap a little bit as he got by Smith a lot quicker. Brandon Jones now only 7/10 of a second off the race lead as he dive bombs underneath Smith in turns 3 and 4. Riley Herbst all over the back of the 16 car. 5 to go, stage 1. John Hunter Nemechek still about 4 or 5 car lengths ahead of Chandler Smith right now. He's going to have to play a little bit of defense. John Hunter Nemechek is going to have to hope that both Chandler Smith and Riley Herbst behind him can get to battling, that maybe that'll allow John Hunter Nemechek to hold on to his lap. Chandler going to go to the outside. Nemechek protecting the bottom. That should allow the 16 to get a better drive off, and that will be the case. Chandler Smith has lapped John Hunter Nemechek and Sammy Smith during the run, so John Hunter now has the free pass position. Riley Herbst still on the outside of the 20 into 3 and 4. That's going to allow Chandler Smith to close the gap a little bit. Contact made now between Herbst and Nemechek. Looked like Herbst got a crowd in the 20 when he was still down there. Wasn't clear. Now as he moves to the bottom, Brandon Jones will get to the outside of the 98. And if he can get the drive off in turn 2, Brandon Jones is going to have a shot at second. Couldn't get the drive off. It looked like he may have gotten tight and had to lift towards the exit of turn 2. Herbst was able to clear. Herbst slides up the racetrack now into 3 and 4, trying to play defense on Jones. 2 to go, stage 1. So Nemechek and Smith both went a lap down as expected. John Hunter Nemechek will get the free pass position. No other car will go a lap down here before the end of the stage. A lot of clean air in front of the 16 for right now. He's just trying to hold off the 98 and the 9 for the stage win. One lap to go in stage 1 for Chandler Smith. A little bit quicker that last lap than Riley Herbst. About a 10th quicker. 25.2 versus a 25.3 for Herbst. And he'll easily be able to hold him off in turns 3 and 4. So Chandler Smith will win stage 1 today. Riley Herbst is going to end up 2nd. Brandon Jones 3rd. Josh Berry 4th. Cole Custer 5th. Justin Allgaier 6th. Daniel Hemrick 7th. Sheldon Creed 8th. Ryan Sieg 9th. And Sam Mayer will round out the top 10 in the first stage. And again, John Hunter Nemechek will get the free pass. Sammy Smith, who led 38 laps in this race already, make that 40 laps. 40 laps led for Sammy Smith, and he is now a lap down to start stage 2. And he can't take the wave around either because he's going to have to pit. He's going to have to pit with the rest of the field, so there's no chance for Sammy Smith to take the wave around. He's going to be trapped a lap down to start the stage, and he's just going to have to hope that we get a quick caution to get him back in the lead lap, because if we have another long green flag run for the leaders to get back into lap traffic again, Sammy Smith's going to have to catch whoever ends up being the first car lap down to get the free pass under the next yellow. We do know we're going to have at least one more caution with the stage break at the end of stage 2. But that is still a long ways for now. Again, 75 laps in stage 1 and 2 today. That is the first stage win of the season for Chandler Smith, his first then of his career for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And there will be pit stops on the other side of the commercial break as well for everybody in the field once again. I would have to imagine nobody is going to stay out seeing what just happened to John Hunter Nemechek and Sammy Smith. I can guarantee everybody on the lead lap will be hitting pit road. All 31 of them, plus Nemechek and Smith, I guess, technically, too. It's also going to be interesting to watch how quickly maybe John Hunter could get through the pack of cars at the tail end of the field. Try to get that car back towards the front. Again, the only way saving a set of tires really comes into play is if we get a lot of cautions in this race. And right now, we have not had a caution for incident through 78 laps. The comp yellow and the stage 1 break were the only 2 cautions. Dakota Rooser, thanks for tuning in. Sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Once again, live commentary for today's truck race will start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Cup Series tomorrow at Richmond, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trucks will be racing at Texas this afternoon. Last Xfinity Series live commentary stream we had at Atlanta a couple weeks ago was the most watched Xfinity Series live commentary stream on the channel. So appreciate everybody for tuning into these live streams every weekend. And we'll see, maybe we could set another record here by the end of today's race. And we've got pit stops.
Underway, Justin.
Let's start with the 7 of Justin Allgaier, one of our Dash for the Cash drivers. Just who's right now the turn. Needs some help with that, so they're going to make an adjustment and try and help him out, Regan.
Riley Herbst chattering the right front of that race car right now and bouncing as well with it. Has way too much wheel input, so he needs some help with that. The 16 of Chandler Smith is having a little bit of brake shakes. Brake shake starts the runs tight, but then it goes to the point where he needs turns at the end of the runs in the 9 car. Brandon Jones starts loose in the front. It gets worse as they go with turn.
Pit road is going to be really big today, given the importance of track position to pit stops twice now. The 98 team has won the race off pit road. Plus,
there you go. So Riley Herbst won the race off of pit road once again. Derek Kraus up 5 spots. Chandler Smith down 2 after winning the stage. He will restart 3rd. We'll take our first ad break of the day. Appreciate everybody tuning in for watching the ToyotaCare 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here live on KRC. Currently in the poll, you guys have Justin Allgaier winning today's Xfinity Series race at 33% after 55 votes have so far been casted. 29% for other. John Hunter Nemechek with 20% and Austin Hill with 18%. I wonder if other and John Hunter Nemechek may be dropping after the probably bad pit strategy call, at least bad for right now, for the short term. We'll see if it pays off in the long term. Definitely going to have a better chance of that happening for John Hunter Nemechek, not so much Sammy Smith. But yeah, maybe the most dominant driver of the day, at least for stage 1. A lap down at the end of the stage, and not because of a mechanical issue. And remember that Sammy Smith is one of the 4 Dash for Cash drivers as well. So that is not good for him to try to win $100,000. If he does win $100,000, I would not be splitting that up with the crew chief. I can guarantee you that much, because his job has gotten a whole heck of a lot more difficult for these final just over 150 laps. Again, still under commercial break right now. So Riley Herbst will be the leader in the restart. Brandon Jones will be 2nd right now. Chandler Smith 3rd. Cole Custer 4th. Daniel Hemrick 5th. Josh Berry 6th. Justin Allgaier 7th. Sheldon Creed 8th. Derek Kraus 9th. And Parker Kligerman will restart 10th. Will they come back from the break? Haven't quite gotten the 1 to go signal yet. I think they will be getting it this time by, though. Imagine Herbst will elect the inside lane. We've seen every driver in the front row elect the bottom. Seems like the car on the outside's kind of been spinning the tires first couple of starts/restarts, and who knows, maybe that happens again, maybe it doesn't. Didn't realize Riley Herbst had the best average finish through the first 6 races this season, 6.7. Surprised it's not Austin Hill, but I think he finished pretty poorly last week, which costed him. Because he started fairly deep in the field today with no practice or qualifying. I'm assuming that's the case. Again, I was unable to watch the race last week. I know who won, and that was it. I saw AJ Allmendinger won. I watched a little bit of the highlights. Not even really most of the highlights, just pretty much the end of the race. And that was it. Pit road penalty for Ryan Sieg. He was in the top 10. Too many men over the wall. And then Sam Mayer, I believe, fell a lap down also, as they had to come back onto pit road. And the pace car ended up beating him all the way around. So Sam Mayer is now lapped down also, along with Sammy Smith. So there'll be 2 drivers trying to battle for the free pass position at the beginning of stage 2. Riley Herbst was able to pull clear easily on the restart. Chandler Smith side by side for second with Brandon Jones. Jones on the outside, Smith on the inside. Hemrick and Custer battling for fourth behind them as well. Custer drives it in very deep on the 11, and he'll be able to pull clear with ease off of turn 4. He's trapped behind Smith and Jones, who are still side by side for second place. Riley Herbst jumped ahead on the last restart to get to the lead, led about a lap or 2 before then losing it to Chandler Smith. Still rode in second close behind him. Big block going down into turn 1 now for Herbst on the 9. This is going to keep the top portion of the field all bunched together still. Chandler Smith is so close to that right rear corner panel on the entrance to turn 3, and now all the way to the exit, trying to side draft Jones as much as he could. In the middle of the corner, had a really good drive off, and now he went from almost being cleared to now pulling even door to door all the way through 1 and 2. And that's keeping Cole Custer at bay behind him as Josh Berry has closed the gap on the 0-0. Custer wants both these guys to kind of hurry up and move so he can have a chance to maybe pounce after his teammate for the race lead, and also try to make his way towards the front before Josh Berry starts to challenge him for position. Maybe got into the left rear of Brandon Jones just a bit that time off the exit of turn 2. Smith is going to be able to clear. Showing the visor cam on the 0-0, you can really see the car sliding in the middle of the corner. How little grip there is on this racetrack. Parker Kligerman gained a couple spots on the restart. Justin Allgaier just picked one of those spots right back up, though. Austin Hill is in the top 10 for the first time. He didn't get any stage points in stage 1. Had a pit road penalty during the comp yellow and also started the race in 18th. So it hasn't been a great day for him so far. His teammate Sheldon Creed just in front of him in 9th as well. Riley Herbst was running similar lap times as Chandler Smith all the way throughout stage 1. Was able to survive this restart this time around, so he maintains that race lead for the time being. Interested to see if we get any pit stops in this stage, if it does go green all the way to the end of it. Sammy Smith is the first car lap down in 30th right now, a couple positions ahead of Sam Mayer. In 32nd, Retzlaff also a lap down as he is in 31st. In the number 31 car for Jordan Anderson Racing.
Valley's grown this race team. If you've got it on the DVR, go back and watch it if you didn't see it, or maybe catch it on social media. Great interview and a wonderful story for a team that is really starting to grow.
See Justin Allgaier fighting for 6th here. Seems like they got some adjustments to that thing. That thing was pretty far off when the race started. They have to make some good changes. Starting to look like the Justin Allgaier we're used to seeing at Richmond.
Nemechek got the free pass and has worked his way back inside the top 20 since the restart, so his day far from over. What'd you say about a 2-for-1? Here we go.
And you know he's frustrated because John Hunter knows how fast his car was and the scenario that they're in. But you just, as a driver, and really as a team, you just have to take a deep breath, reset, and just say, well, we screwed that up, and now we just have to figure out how to make our way back to the front. So his whole goal of this run is to minimize the damage, get as far forward as you can to try to set yourself up to be in contention for the third stage.
Riley Herbst leading. 5 different drivers have been out front.
Fox heading to another break right now. Early going of Stage 2 in the ToyotaCare 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the Richmond Raceway. Riley Herbst is currently a race leader by 0.2 of a second over Chandler Smith. Brandon Jones is in third, 0.6 of a second off the lead. Cole Custer in fourth place, 1.3 back. Josh Berry is in fifth, 1.6 seconds off the lead. Justin Allgaier in sixth, 2.5 back. 2.9 seconds off the lead is Parker Kligerman in seventh. Sheldon Creed is in eighth, 3.7 back. Daniel Hemrick in ninth, 3.9 back, and 4 seconds off the lead is Derek Kraus in 10th. So that is your top 10 as we run right now. Quick update on the poll again in the chat. 34% of the votes have Justin Allgaier winning the race, 29% for other, and 19% for both Austin Hill and John Hunter Nemechek. Those were the 3 favorites according to Vegas coming into the race today. 59 votes have been casted so far. None of those 3 currently in the lead, though. Chandler Smith is the one out in front as of right now. Riley Herbst, rather, out in front right now. Chandler Smith in second. Chandler Smith did win Stage 1, if you're just tuning in as well. And we are still very early in the going in Stage 2. Just about 100 laps completed today's race, 49 minutes in. A little bit of a delayed start. The race was supposed to start about a half hour, 45 minutes before it actually did, but a little bit of a rain delay. And we are, of course, racing as of right now. Truck Series still probably going to be set to go at their same start time at 4:30 later today with the IndyCar race coming up later on as well on NBC. With being on separate networks, I don't think they're going to be able to push the start time for the Truck Series back, so I'd imagine they will still get off and rolling at their original scheduled start time, no matter when this Xfinity Series race ends. Hopefully we have a little bit of a break between streams, but if not, plan is still to get going at 4:30 on the Truck Series stream. If this race is still going, obviously I'll give you the coverage and the commentary for this as soon as the race is over. Gotta end the stream, start the Truck Series, and get the commentary going there afterwards. Stu Isaac, thanks for tuning in. So Allgaier is the first of the Dash for Cash competitors. Daniel Hemrick really fell back after this last restart. He sits in 10th right now. Really good start for Hemrick early on. He was in second place behind Sammy Smith before the Capiello, and then even afterwards was still running in the top 5 to the end of Stage 1, ended up 5th. But unfortunately, he has fallen back even more after this last restart. It's not been a great season for Hemrick so far. Started the season injured. I'm not sure how healed he is from that leg injury he sustained back during Speed Week at Daytona. Injured his knee in a workout on the Thursday before the Xfinity Series season opener that Saturday at Daytona. So he was racing injured. He was on crutches for the first few weeks of the season, but was still cleared to race. Still green flag. Looks like Joe Graff Jr. had another problem. Off of turn 2, and Chandler Smith now going to take the race lead away from Riley Herbst. I don't know if Herbst maybe checked up when he saw the 19 spinning or sliding off turn 2, whatever happened to Joe Graff Jr. But Chandler Smith able to capitalize, take the lead. Brandon Jones to the inside of Riley Herbst takes over second place as he clears him on the back straight. Tough break there. Herbst did check up. The 19 having the issue in front of him, and that caused for Chandler Smith to take the lead into turn 3, but there was no caution flag. Joe Graff Jr. back onto pit road again. Been a rough day for that 19. Showing the replay. Again, this happened off the exit of turn 2. He was very, very sideways off the exit of the corner. He was not that far in front of the leaders, obviously, when it had happened also. I guess that happened off turn 2 a little bit ago for him also. He was racing side by side with Justin Allgaier at the time.
Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's do some drivers only. Kevin and Joey in charge.
Well, we're not very good at this, but we are pretty good at driving them. So you see the patch, that's a good reference point, and the main thing you want to do is ride the brakes down to that yellow line, get all the speed that you can. You come up off over here, a little bit of a crest and a crown down the back straightaway, hard on the brakes, easy to slide the left front tire, but you want to be left front tire on that bottom line all the way around the corner until you're straight, because if you're not straight, it's going to snap the back.
Absolutely, that's what I saw Cole Custer doing right there. Is he's waiting a long, long ways, and that's something you do here on old tires. Is you wait. Watch how long he waits and wraps that paint as long as he can. Gets it straight and a straight shot down the straightaway. Try to get that launch. You got to be very patient around the corner. There's grip on that paint. You need to stay on it as long as possible. This would be a good view as well from John Hunter's front splitter here. See him right on it. Trying to get this, even though it's curved front straightaway, make it as straight as possible. And then you have this open entry too, Kevin, where it's just, you can go way low on the entry or you can arc the heck out of it.
And you see all these guys have pretty much migrated to the bottom. So when you get slow like this, you want to do everything you can to get all the speed that you can on the entry, and then you just park it. And as soon as it's parked on that line, then you touch the throttle with a little bit of partial throttle through the center of the corner. So it's a very technical racetrack, and you use a lot of things on the racetrack. And if you're the guy in front of the guy behind you, you want to do everything you can to keep that left front tire on the paint as long as you can, to not give him any air on the left front of his fender.
I always felt like this was a hard racetrack to figure out what you need in your balance, right? And the old tires, like, man, I'm just getting beat. You know, putting the motor, the rear tires in the racetrack, trying to accelerate off the corner. I need more rear grip, need more rear grip. Then you get that, and you can't turn anymore.
Yeah.
The car's too tight. Now I'm slowing down too much in the center. I can't hold the paint as good as I need to. I'm starting from a slower speed when I do start to accelerate. It is the ultimate compromise racetrack. You never have everything you need. You just need to try to connect the corner the best you can and compromise it the best you can.
Yeah, for me, I always lean towards a little bit tight on the car because I want to be able to work the apron, and I want to be able to have the car consistently get in the corner and not get loose. So I would always lean having my car a little bit tight. But looks like we got a pretty good race for the lead, Adam.
Indeed we did.
You're back. You come back now.
I appreciate you letting me play again. I enjoyed it, though, and I know the fans do at home, and we look forward to Drivers Only Memorial Day weekend, Charlotte Motor Speedway. It'll be the two of you with Ryan Blaney in the booth, Tyler Reddick on pit road with Austin Cindric and Brad Keselowski holding down the fort in the studio with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A lot of championships on that page.
Yeah, and you know, Joey and I do like honey in our tea, so make sure you don't forget the honey that day.
I go from play-by-play to stage manager,
right.
So I will make a note of that. Hey, two comeback drivers here. Austin Hill started deep in the field at the speeding penalty. He's worked his way to the top 10, but can hold off John Hunter Nemechek, who has rallied from a lap down, gets the free pass, and has now scored 9.
And I'll tip my hat to John Hunter Nemechek here. He fought his teammate pretty hard to get in front of him when they were on old tires. That was the difference of him being getting a lucky dog and being on the lead lap and looking like he's going to score stage points here at 33 laps to go in the second stage. And his teammate, Sammy Smith, is still down a lap and most likely won't get the lucky dog as more cars go down the lap on this long run.
Right now he's 30th, third in line of those drivers that are set up for the free pass with 33 to go in the stage. And we know if we don't get a caution before that, it's going to be a while. And as you said, more and more drivers are going to go a lap down as Chandler Smith is setting quite the pace. He's now led 50 of our 118 laps. Brandon Jones hanging tight. And Riley Herbst, after that slip off of turn 2 when he had the car spinning in front of him, has re-entered the conversation. It appears he's got some confidence back in himself now.
Well, I love the fact that Riley led laps, because that's what we've been telling him. Look, bud, just finish the race, you'll finish in the top 10. When you finish in the top 10, pretty soon you'll start finishing in the top 5. When you do that, then you're going to start leading laps. And in order to win a race, you got to know how to lead the race. And that, to me, is the best part of what's happened in the first part of this race for Riley.
Yeah, I just see Sam Mayer back here in the 1, down a lap, right, from having issues on pit road. You see Sammy Smith down a lap and this long green flag around. Neither one of them is going to get the lucky dog here, guys. Garrett Smith is already in 28th. He's down a lap. As these guys keep going down 1-1-1, they'll be lucky if they finish on the lead lap, if they get enough cautions to do that. Their day is in serious jeopardy right now.
Hemrick there in the 11th.
Struggling.
He came off pit road in 5th. He's back in 16th now, Kevin.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, is what happened to Daniel Hemrick, because you can visibly see that he is struggling with his car through the corners.
Alex LeBay doing a nice job driving that 91 for Mario Gosling, teammate to Josh Williams. Anthony Alfredo working on a position in the top 15 as Herbst goes to the bumper of Brandon Jones.
And I think Riley, I think he has a really good car. I love the way that he can wrap the line all the way through the corner. The 9 car has more of that diamond that we talked about earlier. You'll see it down here. He'll enter a little bit higher, kind of touch the line, go up in the center, and that just allows Riley to get clean air on the left front side of that car. But Riley's just got to time it right so that he can roll up to him, at the 3/4, 7/8 point of the corner. But there he just drove it in and said, "I'm here, buddy."
Got 3 drivers up there in the top 6 positions right now that have never won in the Xfinity Series. Chandler Smith, Riley Herbst, who's trying to wrestle second away from Brandon Jones, and Parker Kligerman from the back to 6th in the 48. All those drivers doing some positive things.
Yeah, look at Parker's lap times right now. I mean, he's booking along pretty good. He's got some good speed on the long run. Now, a very experienced race car driver, right? Parker Kligerman's been in the sport for a long time. He's run a lot of races. He's raced a lot here at Richmond in particular. You kind of, as a driver, if you know how to get around these places, you can use that to your advantage. Even if your car's not quite perfect, if you know how to race here and be a smart racer, you can really show up like Parker's doing.
25 laps to go. Stage 2 in Richmond.
So we'll take a quick rundown of your full field running order here late in Stage 2. Chandler Smith leads, Brandon Jones in 2nd, Riley Herbst 3rd, Josh Berry 4th, Cole Custer is 5th, Parker Kligerman in 6th place, Justin Allgaier 7th, Derek Kraus 8th, John Hunter Nemechek 9th, Austin Hill is 10th, Sheldon Creed in 11th, Kaz Grala 12th, Jeremy Clements 13th, Ryan Ellis 14th, Jeffrey Earnhardt is 15th, 16th is Anthony Alfredo, Alex Labay 17th, Jeb Burton 18th, Daniel Hemrick has fallen to 19th, and Chris Hacker is 20th. Brett Moffitt 21st, Connor Mosack 22nd, Joey Gase 23rd, Kyle Sieg 24th, Leland Honeyman 25th, Blaine Perkins is the first car 1 lap down in 26th, 27th is Patrick Emmerly, Garrett Smithley 28th, Sammy Smith is 29th, Josh Williams 30th, Ryan Sieg 31st, Sam Mayer 32nd, Parker Retzlaff is 33rd, 34th is Stephen Parsons, Mason Maggio 35th, Brendan Poole 36th, and then Gray Golding 6 laps down at 37th, Joe Graff Jr. 11 laps down in 38th. I'm unaware if Joe Graff Jr. did pull off the racetrack or not, but he did have a couple of slides in this stage already. Came back onto pit road for another unscheduled pit stop. Sid for Brains, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, Jonathan Nemechek definitely moving up through the field pretty quickly. Getting inside the top 10, up to 8th now, passes Derek Kraus during the commercial break. Still 8.9 seconds off the race lead. He was about a 10th quicker, though, than Chandler Smith that last lap. So Nemechek making the comeback. Sammy Smith, on the other hand, though, is in 29th, still a lap down. And there is going to be really no chance he's going to have of getting the free pass position to the end of this stage, the way things are looking right now. Same goes for Sam Mayer, who went a lap down during the caution, was on pit road a little bit too long. Had to come back down. The pace car ended up beating him off of pit road. So lapped him under caution. Mayer was also in the top 10 along with Sammy Smith earlier in the race. Sammy Smith led 40 laps earlier today. Back in stage 1 before the competition caution came out, when he and the 20 team ended up staying out of the pits when everybody else came to pit road. They both went a lap down before the end of the stage, but Nemechek was luckily able to get the free pass ahead of Smith. I was able to save his day, but Sammy, on the other hand, is still struggling. Daniel Hemrick is falling outside the top 20 right now. He's in danger of going a lap down before long. That leaves Justin Allgaier in 7th, the highest running of the Dash for Cash drivers. The other 3 are Mayer and Smith, who are both a lap down, as mentioned, and Hemrick in danger of going a lap down. Justin Allgaier might lock up the Dash for Cash here before the end of stage 2 at this rate. But if he doesn't finish in the top 4, he will not have a chance for it again in 2 weeks at Martinsville. The next Xfinity race, again, the top 4 from today's Xfinity Series race of the Xfinity Series regulars can go for that Dash for Cash. Barry and Herbst side by side for 3rd place. Herbst was not able to keep up the pace with the 9 and the 16 over the course of the run, and Chandler Smith has actually pulled out to about a 9/10 of a second lead over Brandon Jones in 2nd in recent laps as well. Barry's still underneath the 98, not going to be able to stay underneath them this time, and Herbst is going to be able to pull clear again. Back down to the bottom of the racetrack goes Josh Berry. Pulls back alongside of the front stretch, side drafted that left rear quarter panel before diving it back towards the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Off the exit of turn 2, Herbst pinches the 8 off, running right on his door, trying to make sure that Berry can't get back to the gas as soon. Herbst slips up the track a little bit wider through 3 and 4, trying to get himself a little bit better drive off. And that's going to help him stay alongside Berry as well. So Riley Herbst putting up a good fight for 3rd place right now. Neither the 8 or the 98 can pull clear. Brandon Jones running a little bit quicker lap times the last couple laps though than Chandler Smith in lap traffic, and now the lead is closed right back down to a half a second again. Daniel Hemrick is the last car on the lead lap in 23rd, and he may be holding up Chandler Smith just a little bit, even though they are teammates. He's trying to stay on the lead lap to the end of the stage as we're down to just about 13 to go. A lot of lap traffic in front of Brandon Jones. He was really closing that gap on Chandler Smith until he ended up hitting the lap traffic pretty heavily as well. And now Josh Berry's going to contend for 2nd place. He recently just passed Riley Herbst after battling him for a handful of laps. Now he's going to battle his junior motorsport teammate for 2nd. Lap cars all over. The 19 on fresher tires just trying to get by everybody, leading the way for the 8 and the 9 cars. Up the middle, 3 wide, went Josh Berry to get by the 9 of Brandon Jones. Daniel Hemrick, the lap car on the outside of him, has fallen back to 25th. Riley Herbst closing back up on Brandon Jones in a battle for 3rd now after Josh Berry is quickly running away in 2nd. May still have a chance to catch Chandler Smith for the Stage 2 win. 6/10 of a second off the lead and ran about almost 2/10 quicker that last lap than Smith. Brandon Martinez, Slendy 7003, thanks for tuning in. End of Stage 2 right now. 10 to go yet in this stage. Chandler Smith on the outside lane trying to get by the 19 car, who also has somewhat fresher tires, so that held him up, and Josh Berry gets to the inside for the lead. 35 now on the outside lane of Joey Gase, going to go 2 laps down potentially. Smith quickly was able to drop back down to the bottom lane in the middle of turns 3 and 4 after Josh Berry cleared him. Berry making contact with Gase in the 35 now in the middle of 1 and 2. And the 35 slips and slides off the exit of turn 2 now right in front of the 16, and that causes Berry to pull away just a little bit more. Josh Berry leads the race. 8 laps to go, stage 2. So the first time Josh Berry has led all afternoon. Just over 100 laps to go still. More side-by-side traffic now in front of Berry with the 28 and the 92. He'll pull clear of Josh Williams off of turn 2. Already half a second difference between himself and Chandler Smith. Brandon Jones now battling side-by-side for second place with Chandler Smith and Riley Herbst right there as well. A 3-car battle for P2. Of course, Daniel Hemrick has already fallen a lap down. Chandler Smith still obviously has decent pace to hold himself in the top 5, but the Collie cars definitely don't look suitable for the long runs. Derek Kraus has fallen back to about 12th place as well. Austin Hill just passed him. Riley Herbst looking to the outside of the 16 onto the front stretch. Jonathan Nemechek up to 6th. Kaz Gralla having a good day for Sam Hunt Racing in the 7th position as well. And Parker Kligerman, who was up to 6th, is now falling back to 8th during this long green flag run. Just over 90 laps during this green flag run so far, as we have not had a caution in stage 2. Sorry, I had the math wrong on that. Just over 60 laps without a caution so far. The second stage, 75 laps in length. Couple caution flag laps, obviously, earlier in the stage. A 78 of Anthony Alfredo, very slow in the backstretch as he pounded the wall. Looked like off of turn 2. He was trying to get to pit road and does. Chandler Smith really struggling with the drive of his race car off the exit of the corner. Looks to be a little bit loose. Herbst's going to get to the inside now after trying to pass him on the outside a couple laps ago. That didn't work. The inside lane not working yet. They're still door-to-door in the back straightaway. Got 3 more laps to try to see who will get the 3rd place position in stage 2. Chandler Smith slides way up the hill that time in turns 3 and 4. I don't think that was intentional. He lost a lot of ground to Herbst, and Herbst is clear off turn 4. RCR teammates battling for that final stage spot in 10th between Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill. Creed has the position for right now as they pass the 11, who is still slow on the outside of Hemrick. 18 cars on the lead lap. Jeb Burton is the last of those on the lead lap in the 27 car. Berry has a 0.7 of a second lead over his teammate Brandon Jones in second. 1 more lap to go at stage 2 now at the line around this 3/4 mile racetrack. This will be the first stage win of the season for Josh Berry. And a good points day so far going for Brandon Jones, who has not had many good days this season in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with his new team at JRM. Maybe going to compete for the win, though, here this afternoon. Jeb Burton will barely remain on the lead lap right in front of race leader Josh Berry off of turn 4. Berry will hold on to win the stage, as mentioned, his first stage win of the season. Brandon Jones will end up 2nd, Riley Herbst 3rd, Chandler Smith 4th. Cole Custer will finish 5th in the stage. Kaz Gralla got back by John Hunter Nemechek on the last lap for 6th. John Hunter Nemechek finishes 7th in stage 2. Parker Kligerman 8th, Justin Allgaier 9th, and Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 10. In this second stage, we'll have pit stops on the other side of the commercial break. We'll close the poll now as well. 81 votes have been cast. You guys have voted for Justin Allgaier to win today's race. He has 35% of those 81 votes. 27% for other, 22% for Austin Hill, and then John Hunter Nemechek was 16% of the votes so far. Just over 100 people watching. Appreciate everybody tuning in this afternoon. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. As we still have 1 more stage of racing to go, 100 laps left in today's ToyotaCare 250. Because it's the end of stage 2, we'll give off another, well, not give off, but I will show you guys another diecast for the collection in the back, as we've been doing during every live commentary stream of the 2023 season so far. Because it is an Xfinity Series race, I've got another Busch Series car. I think this is 2004, if I remember correctly. This is a Greg Biffle diecast. He was my favorite driver when I was growing up. Number 60 charter car. Carl Edwards drove the same car as well in the Busch Series. Whenever really Greg Biffle didn't drive, they kind of split the season in this car. 2004, I think Biffle drove it full-time? No, it wouldn't have been full-time. Yeah, never mind. It wouldn't have been full-time. But this is definitely a Biffle diecast. That I do know. We were actually watching the 2008 Richmond race, and Robbie Gordon had this similar paint scheme in the number 7 car in that spring date. And I said that it reminded me of this diecast, so I figured I'd show it off this weekend. I think there's only one more Busch Series diecast that I haven't showed off yet, so we're running out of Xfinity diecasts for the weekend. I'll probably get to that one next week. Well, not next week, because the Xfinity Series doesn't race next week. Martinsville the week after, more than likely. We'll get to that one. Car won Nashville around the time. It may have, it may not have. I really don't know. I don't know much about Greg Biffle's Busch Series stats other than the fact I think he's in the top 10 on the all-time win list in the Xfinity Series. But I don't know much about the actual career status of the 60 car. Other than the end of it wasn't great with Cindric and Majeski and Travis Pastrana. Didn't have some great runs of that car towards the end of its time. You know what, now I'm thinking about this, I think this might be a 2002 diecast. I could check on the box, but I'd have to dig through my closet for the box, so. Unless it's one of the top ones. I don't think it is. I got this at the Dirt Bristol race last year. I do remember that. So I'd imagine that I will not find the box very quickly. It's not going to be one of the ones towards the front of the stack of empty boxes in my closet. Again, another reminder, Truck Series race will start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. We are a little bit over an hour away from the start of that race. Still a little under 100 to go in today's Xfinity Series race at Richmond. The sun is shining on the racetrack and really at the track all day, considering the rain they had earlier. 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts. 74 degrees is the air temperature. Potentially the final stop of the race today if we don't get any more cautions. Field is heading into the pits. Josh Berry will lead him in.
Coming to Josh.
And let's start with the 7 of Justin Allgaier. He has been struggling all day trying to get that car to turn. They're going to make a number of different adjustments to see if they can finally get the car where it needs to be as far as the 00 of Cole Custer. He's been saying he starts off strong, but then he loses the turn as the run goes along. He says help me out with some long run speed and some drive off, Regan.
Brandon Jones in the 9 car builds very tight as the runs go, but the rear grip stays good for him. He's very happy about the rear grip in the 8 car of Josh Berry. Needs better front turn on the first half of the run, early on in the runs, not late in the runs, late in the runs, everything's all good.
You saw that there at the end of stage 2. Race off pit road going to be big. Riley Herbst is
pretty close race off of pit road. Josh Berry wins it by about a half a car length over Brandon Jones. Top 4, top 5 do not change positions. Allgaier up 2 spots. John Nemechek up 1. Gralla down 2. Kligerman down 1. And then Austin Hill will jump his teammate Sheldon Creed to move into the top 10 as well. Going to dial up Josh Berry from the Fox booth.
Josh Berry, Joey Logano up in the Fox booth. You got us?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you seem pretty relaxed in there. It was fun to watch you to save your tires, have something at the end there. You seem like you old school short track raced them right there. What do you think about your car?
Yeah, it's all right. We need to fire off a little bit better. I feel like fighting the front end a little bit, the front half of the run, but stays under me pretty nice. I guess years of racing tracks like this pay off on days like today.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we'll see what you got now that you're starting up front. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
I think you should have asked him, does he feel young or old? I mean, that's what I wanted to hear.
I think he's my age, so I wasn't good on that.
They'll be heading to the restart. Following the commercial break, we'll take a break of our own. And then we'll get right back to the action. Just over 120 people watching. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'll refresh the page real quick, see how many likes we're up to. We're at just 54 likes on the stream, guys. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. That's under a 50% like rate compared to how many people we have watching the stream right now. So hit that like button. I will be honest, though, I haven't given you guys the best commentary for this race today. It happens from time to time. I try to give you guys my best every single time. Sometimes, I feel like I fall a little bit short on that. I feel like I'm stumbling on my words a little bit more this afternoon. But luckily, it's the first race of the weekend. We still got the truck race later on tonight as well. And, of course, the Cup race tomorrow. There's 19 cars on the lead lap for the restart. Sammy Smith still lapped down along with Sam Mayer. Some of the bigger names that were lapped down to start Stage 2 are still lapped down to start Stage 3. The free pass went to the 28 car of Chris Hacker. So Hacker back on the lead lap. Chandler Smith has led the most laps so far today with 71 laps led. He won Stage 1, led a lot of Stage 2, but Josh Berry, after just winning the race off pit road, will be the leader, also won Stage 2 in this race. We'll see if he can fire off on the short run. He mentioned during that interview there mid-stage with Logano and Harvick in the booth that he didn't feel the car was great on the short run. Maybe a little bit too loose on the short side of it. So if we get another long run in this final stage, look out for Josh Berry to contend for the win. And probably the best car at the front of the field on the short runs has been Chandler Smith. It will also be interesting to watch to see how John Hunter Nemechek in the 20 car does now that he has regathered himself back into the 6th place position. Finished 7th in Stage 2. Didn't lead at all yet today, but he was running in the top 5 when the Cop Yellow came out earlier, and then him and Sammy Smith went on a pit strategy where they did not take tires. Everybody else came on to pit road, so they have that extra set left. So they should have 2 sets left the rest of this race. Everybody else still has 1 more set. So if we get a caution, we know everybody's going to hit pit road again. It's going to be very difficult for John Hunter Nemechek to have that extra set come into use, I think. But we'll see. Pretty clean race so far. 4 drivers tied for the most stage points today of Berry, Jones, Herbst, and Chandler Smith. 17 points each. Josh Berry, I would assume, will elect the inside lane for the restart again. And he does. Bottom has been the preferred lane on the front row all race long. And nobody has failed to take the lead on the inside. So until then, I would imagine it's an easy pick for the car leading the field to the green every time to elect the inside coming to the restart. So Berry and Jones will be on the front row. Herbst and Chandler Smith in row 2. And then Cole Custer, John Hunter Nemechek will be in row 3 for the restart. This could be the final restart of the day. We haven't had any cautions for incident yet. Cop Yellow, 2 stage breaks. That's been it. We'll have 89 laps to go when they go green. And it will be the longest, obviously, green flag run of the day, with this being the longest stage of the race. Toyota Supra pace car will pull onto pit road. Berry leads the field to the green at Richmond. Stage 3 underway for the Xfinity Series. A win to lock yourself into the playoffs for a lot of these drivers at the front of the field right now. Still winless. All of them in the top 5 for the restart without a win in 2023. Josh Berry and Brandon Jones still side by side off the exit of turn 2. Berry did not take off very well, and Jones almost cleared him down to the bottom into 3 and 4. Lot wider entry that time, squeezing the 8 off the exit. Brandon Jones is clear from the outside lane on the restart. Takes the lead away from Josh Berry, who has struggled on the short runs today. It'll be interesting to see how long it will take Berry to potentially get back to the lead on his JRM teammate, but Brandon Jones now out in front. And I believe this is the first time Brandon Jones has led this afternoon. didn't hear about Logano being in a Thor Sport truck at Bristol. No, I missed that. It's interesting. They have a shot to win it. Won the dirt race in 2021 in the Cup Series, so you have to imagine he'd be one of the favorites for that truck race. Chandler Smith was able to get to second as well on Josh Berry. Berry sits in third right in front of John Hunter Nemechek, who gained a couple spots on the restart from the outside of row 3 to get to fourth. Riley Herbst had dropped all the way back to seventh after restarting on the inside of row 2. He is on the outside of Parker Kligerman right now in a battle for that 7th place position. Justin Allgaier back inside the top 5 for the first time all the way since stage 1. So Sammy Smith has the free pass position as of right now and is going to have to hope for a caution before the 19th place car, which as of right now is Kyle Sieg, would go a lap down. Which may be a little while yet before they get that deep into lap traffic. And obviously Sammy's going to have to hold on to that 20th place position as well. He's got Daniel Hemrick and Sam Mayer, or some notable drivers behind him that are a lap down and some pretty good equipment. Hemrick's been pretty good on the short runs today too, so he'll be pretty tough to try to hold off. It's where the Kaulig cars have seemingly been at their best this afternoon, have been on the first 30 to 40 laps of a run. Especially Chandler Smith in the 16, who was still in second place. Nearly 3 wide off turn 4 between the 26-2 and the 48 that last time. Kligerman backed out of it on the outside. Lost those 2 spots, and then Austin Hill quickly got underneath him, and Kligerman's about to be bounced outside the top 10. Good run for Alex Lebay, the 91 car. He's been running top 15 most of the day. On this restart, he jumps to 12th, and he's right behind Kligerman. Live bar on yellow instead of red? I have no clue what you're talking about. I honestly don't know what live bar you're talking about. Chandler Smith a couple hundredths quicker than Brandon Jones that last lap. John Hunter Nemechek still in 4th place. About a half a second gap between himself and Josh Berry. Battle in 3rd and 4th place. Fox heading to a commercial break though. They'll go side by side with that. We'll stay right here in case there is a battle for the race lead, which it seems like could be the case any second, as Brandon Jones, again, not as quick as Chandler Smith that last lap. Down to just 77 laps to go. And these laps go by quick, obviously, in short tracks, so we are not far from the finish of today's race. Hemrick has moved up to 21st. He passed Moffitt. Not sure exactly interval-wise how far behind Sammy Smith he is for the free pass position, but those drivers are the 2 racing for it. Sam Mayer a few spots still behind them. Ryan Sieg and Brett Moffitt also a lap down towards the front of that line. Chandler Smith now all over the back bumper of Brandon Jones. Maybe a car length gap at best between them into turn 1 this time. Lap 175. Sean Moffitt and Sieg battling side by side into turns 1 and 2. Sieg going to hold clear. Gets the drive off and now pulls alongside Hemrick. Battle for 21st on screen. And that last lap, Brandon Jones picked it up a little bit, dropped down to 24.898. to Chandler Smith's 24.935. Already over a second off their fastest lap times of the race this far into the run, which isn't really that far at all. Contact between Joey Gase and Blaine Perkins. Both drivers are a lap down. I think Gase might actually be 2 laps down. Perkins still 1 lap down in 28th. The 0-2 car. Josh Berry running down Chandler Smith all of a sudden as well. Massive run through 3 and 4 that last time for Berry. Almost got to the back bumper of the 16 car. Top 3 within about 0.6 of a second of each other, and John Hunter Nemechek a little quicker than the leaders that last lap as well. Ran a quicker lap time than the leader, Brandon Jones, that last lap. Kaz Grala, Sheldon Creed battling for 8th. Grala's had a great day in that 26 car. He's been in the top 10 all race. Still hanging on for 8th. Both RCR cars behind him. Still quite a ways from lap traffic becoming a factor, but the gap between first and really fourth has really tightened quite a bit. Justin Allgaier not really able to compete with them. He's looking to get inside the top 4, though, so he has another shot at $100,000 next week. He's the only driver of the Dash for Cash that is on the lead lap right now, with Sammy Smith, Daniel Hemrick, and Sam Mayer all being a lap down. But he is not able to keep up with the top 4 cars. There's about a second and a half built up between him and the 4th place car of John Hunter Nemechek. Cole Custer was in 6th place, about 0.2 quicker than Allgaier that last lap as well. So Justin's still struggling on the long run as he's done all day long. Jess Wilson, Antoine Powell, thanks for tuning in. Josh Berry makes the pass for 2nd now on Chandler Smith. Berry, who won Stage 2, trying to get back after his teammate for the race lead. John Hunter Nemechek all over the back of the 16 off turn 4 as well. Chandler Smith falling back a little bit earlier into this green flag run than the first 2 stages of the race when he was out towards the front of the field. Nine-tenths of a second now separating the top 4. I think Josh Berry's biggest competitor, if this runs green to the end, is probably going to be John Hunter Nemechek in the 20, so he needs to get by the 9 car as quick as he can, because now Nemechek is looking to pass Chandler Smith for 3rd. Dives to the inside. Smith will give him the bottom and quickly fall behind him, so John Hunter will move up to 3rd place in the number 20. Little less than a second off the lead still from Brandon Jones and Josh Berry. Now he'll try to close the gap before Berry can try to take the lead from Jones. Jones holds on for another lap, 66 to go at the line. He's getting a better drive off than Josh Berry. Berry charging a lot harder on the corner entry, using more brakes, which allows for the 9 car to maybe get back to the gas a little bit sooner. Berry really closed the gap all the way through the corner, almost makes contact with him off turn 2. Now Berry gets to the bottom. Brandon Jones on the outside, not going to give this battle up easily, and they'll remain side by side for the lead onto the front stretch. Brandon Jones gets the drive off again. He's not going to be able to pole clear by the time they get into 1. Berry, a lot sharper entry down on the bottom. A lot more room given to him that time by Brandon Jones. Jones still got to stay alongside of him, though, on the back straightaway, and now Berry's clear into 3. Josh Berry back to the lead for the first time now in Stage 3. 64 laps to go. He's 0.8 of a second still ahead of John Hunter Nemechek, who is hard charging from 3rd. And Chandler Smith's already fallen a second and a half off the lead. In 4th place. And now Nemechek's next job is to get by Brandon Jones for 2nd, and then we'll see who will be faster between the 20 and the 8 once they both get into 1st and 2nd place. Kevin Harvick, he's not in the race. He's in the commentary booth. He's doing a good job there.
Joe Gibbs Racing, and one of them was John Hunter Nemechek. He ended up going a lap down at the end of stage 1, got the free pass, and has really worked hard to get back to the front. Actually got stage points at the end of stage 2, and he might be the runner-up here in the next couple of laps, Regan.
Well, Adam, just for the competition's sake right now, John Hunter Nemechek, since that problem with the pit deal earlier on where they did not stop and everybody else did, he has been silent on the radio. A very focused driver. He knows exactly what he had to do in the seat of that car. The only thing he's told his team is our drive-off is very good with this race car. Drive-off, as Kevin and Joey know, on a long run, very important here.
Well, he might be focused, but he's also really mad. That's one reason that he's not talking, and because he knows that's his best way to keep the composure and to not say anything else to make the situation any worse. And he's done an absolutely wonderful job at keeping himself in the game and keeping his mind in the game.
Nemechek now to the inside of Brandon Jones for second place. Brandon charges on the outside of the corner way up the racetrack. Still stays alongside of Nemechek for at least another corner. And now Nemechek will look to pull clear in turns 1 and 2. The 9 may be a little tight in the center that time. Front end shoved up the track, and that was the same spot Josh Berry was able to clear him for the lead a little bit ago. And Berry has not really pulled away all that much. The lead is just 0.4 of a second now between Berry and Nemechek. And about to get into lap traffic for the first time in Stage 3. Commercial break right now on FS1. And we will take our final break of the day before bringing you guys the rest of the finish of the ToyotaCare 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here live on KRC. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, live race commentary on these same weekends as the NASCAR Xfinity Truck and Cup Series all season long. As we have a Truck Series live commentary stream still coming up later today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an hour away from the start of that stream. And then the Cup Series tomorrow, where we will go live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Bar at the bottom of the screen during any stream of yours also red when you watch a video. Oh, that bar. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. It's red on my screen. Yeah, I don't know. It's red on my screen. I wonder if it might be your internet on your side too, if you're saying that the leaderboard's also blurry. Because it's good on my end. Luckily, our raw feed's been working this entire race so far today. And hopefully we don't have any issues with it during the Truck Series race after this. Hopefully NASCAR's website can get things updated very quickly, knowing that we're not going to have a lot of time between races. This race probably would have been over by now if they could have gotten things started on time, but inclement weather said otherwise. Got this race started about a half hour, 45 minutes later. We're down to 52 laps to go. Just over an hour and a half in. No cautions for incident all race long. Josh Berry is currently your race leader over John Hunter Nemechek. 0.6 of a second is the margin of that lead as of right now. Your stage winners today were Chandler Smith and Josh Berry. Berry won stage 2. Chandler Smith won stage 1. And Justin Allgaier's actually closed the gap on Chandler Smith for 4th. And easily the two fastest cars on the racetrack as of right now are the drivers running in 1st and 2nd. Actually, Sam Mayer, that last lap, just ran quicker lap than anybody else, 25.2. He's been a lap down ever since the end of stage 1 on that pretty bad tire strategy. Allgaier's really starting to fall off all of a sudden now. Cole Custer, Riley Herbst during the commercial break had passed him. Allgaier now falling back to 7th. Still in a very good spot to win $100,000 for the Dash for Cash, but it looks like we'll have a new 4 battling for it at Martinsville in 2 weeks based off of how things are looking with 49 laps to go. $61 likes on the stream. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. See how close to 100 we can get that before the end of the stream. Sammy Smith has ran down Justin Allgaier. Remember, he was a lap down in 20th, but he has already put himself inside where the top 10 cars would be. He is running faster laps than anybody on the racetrack right now. But unfortunately has been a lap down this entire race after a bad pit strategy call had put him in that situation. And we have not had any cautions for incident all day, and that has really bit the 18 and the 20. The reason why they pulled that strategy out was so they could have an extra set of tires to the end of this race, but we have not seen many cautions. And this historically is a track that usually doesn't have a lot of cautions as well, at least in the Cup Series races the last handful of years. Very few cautions usually throughout the course of those races. A lot of long green flag runs, and today that has definitely been the detriment to at least one of those 2 Joe Gibbs Racing cars. The only reason the other one is not in the same predicament is because John Hunter Nemechek got the free pass at the end of stage 1, and now he's been able to regather himself back into 7th, or into 2nd. He's 7/10 of a second off the race lead. Him and Josh Berry have been running fairly similar lap times. 25.499 that last lap for Berry. Nemechek a little bit quicker again of a 25.426. And Berry was side by side with Joey Gase off of turn 4. Couldn't clear him, and that allowed for Nemechek to be that much quicker that last lap than Berry as a result. It's a matter of who can get through lap traffic better between now and the end of the race. A lot more cars are still yet to be passed, whether they are on the lead lap or are just going another lap down. And, of course, the management of the tires over the course of this long run, knowing that this will be the longest these teams will go on tires today. 89 laps from the restart, where we hadn't even gone 70 laps from a restart before that. Cup race will be as clean as this one? It could be. There's been a couple drivers that have blown tires today, but they were able to get to pit road unscathed, and we didn't have any debris laying around for a caution. That was from 19 of Joe Graff Jr. very early in the race. Then end of stage 2, Anthony Alfredo in the 78 had a right front go down. He pancaked the wall as well. Allgaier really falling off. Austin Hill now challenging him for 7th. And Austin Hill, that last lap, actually ran a quicker lap time than Josh Berry and John Hunter Nemechek at the front of the field. Problem is he's 9.3 seconds off the lead with just 42 laps to go. So I don't know that he's necessarily going to be able to run those leaders down, but maybe he can pick some more spots off before a potential caution or the end of this race comes out to get in better track position. Brian Chastain, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Richmond's been pretty clean last handful of years for sure. Cole Custer, Riley Herbst, couple of SHR teammates battling for 5th place on the racetrack. Herbst has been in the top 5 most of the day, and Allgaier now coming to pit road.
Dash for Cash. Pit stop for the 7 of Justin Allgaier, 40 laps to go. Josh.
Here, Justin Allgaier has been struggling with that car. That last adjustment made it better, but they elected to come in, get tires, and get fuel for this last run, try and help him get this final push.
Well, I like it. You know, he was going backwards and struggling with the handling of his car, and he's going to have an advantage. They put all their cards on the table right there. And as my friend Clint Boyer says, the only thing that he has to deal with at this point is traffic friction.
track friction.
Because it is hard here, right? When you have the cars are so much slower to pass, and it's harder when you're the slow car. You lose more time than the fast car. But even the fast cars, you wind up in positions where you just can't take full advantage of those new tires to be able to run really quick lap times like you would in clean track.
I mean, he is going to be ripping a lot faster than what he was, and I like this call, right? You can split this run in half. He missed the split by 5 or 6 laps to kind of nail that perfectly. But I think as hard as he was dropping, and you see kind of what's going to happen, right? He's going to finish outside the top 10. Something's going to, the fall-off's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and maybe look like what happened to the 11 earlier in the race. You know what? Let's just cut our losses now, come in, put our tires on, pray this thing runs green, and we can make up some spots.
He's 1 lap down, 22nd, but on those fresh tires should run his way back up, close to the top 15, and if he can do that, he should be able to get up at least by Sammy Smith, right, who's 19th.
He was 1.2 seconds faster than the leader that first lap.
So he's going to gain a lot of ground here, and right now he's not the leader when it comes to getting the dash for cash, but because he's got those tires in great position to get by both his teammate Sam Mayer and run down Sammy Smith, you've got to believe.
Now, the other risk for Justin Allgaier in this move, too, that was his last set of tires. So they put this on, this is his last move. If the caution comes out with 10 to go here, or really at any point right now to the end of the race, he's in trouble. Right? That's not good. He's really banking on this thing running green to the checkered.
But past history here, as we've talked, I mean, the past history is green, green, green. So,
well, and not just history. Sometimes you do it by feel of the race. And today we've had 3 cautions. One, the competition caution, because we didn't get any practice qualifying at a green racetrack. The other 2 cautions stage in. So it's not just the history that you talk about, Kevin. It's how you feel about things playing today, and all of it points toward it has a long green flag feel. Toyota on board, John Hunter Nemechek. This is the 51 of Jeremy Clements. He is off the pace and could be in some trouble here. This could bring out a caution. We'll keep an eye on it.
It looks like that car is not under power, and I don't think he's going to make it.
Trying to get a caution on it.
And what you hate for him is he had back-to-back top 15s coming into today and was running 13th when
he's not
had his problem. Now he's just now entering turn 3, pit entry over here at turn 4.
I think he's making the pit stop. You want to try to get it stop there or not?
"32 laps to go. Can Clements get back?"
The car's rolled a lot further than I thought it would.
He's made it to pit road. Now can he get to his pit stall? "31 laps to go, and we're starting to monitor the lap times for Justin Allgaier. And I had suggested he should be able to run his way at least back up inside the top 15. He's starting to pace now, where he'll not only get to the top 15, top 10, and depending on how things play out, he could be knocking on the door for the top 5 here late in this race if we stay green.
Yeah, well, I think that the kicker in this is going to be that 51 car that is sitting on pit road. And that is exactly
caution.
What Justin Allgaier does not want to see.
Yep, and we got it. There.
Caution is out with 30 laps to go for Jeremy Clements, who had stalled out in the middle of pit road. That is not a good caution for Justin Allgaier, who pitted. They went off strategy. They put themselves a lap down, and they are not in the free pass position. It looks like the 14th place car of Ryan Ellis will get the free pass. Allgaier is out of tires as well. He was battling Sammy Smith pretty much all the way to the end of the race for the dash for cash. That's what I don't understand, why they did that. This has been a race full of some kind of, lack for better terms, brain-dead strategy calls. Because, I mean, they don't have another set of tires they can throw on that 7 car. They've ran 11 laps, so they are going to be at a disadvantage on the restart. And he was in 7th place when the caution or when he ended up hitting pit road 11 laps ago. He was free falling, probably would have fallen outside the top 10, so that's probably why they pitted, but there was no way they were going to get back up inside the top 10, even if it stayed green those final 30 laps. So this will be the final stop of the race. Again, 13 cars on the lead lap. We'll have a little bit around... We'll probably have about 24, 25 to go on the restart. It's our first incidental caution today. Not really an accident. It was more for just a car stalling on pit road. Which is Jeremy Clements. So definitely make things interesting for this upcoming restart. Josh Berry has not been good on the short runs for most of the day. The most recent restart at the beginning of Stage 3 actually lost a couple spots before regaining the race lead probably 20 to 30 laps into the green flag run when both Brandon Jones and Chandler Smith got around him. Time for the pit crews to do work once again. It's the race within the race as Josh Berry will lead the field onto pit road.
A shorter run.
And if we get one more caution at the right time, John Hunter Nemechek has 2 sets of tires. Everybody else has just one. They're making scheduled pit stops under caution, Josh.
Let's start with a 00 Cole Custer. Been strong off the start, but losing long run speed. Hoping these final set of tires can help him out for the final run here, Regan.
Josh Berry's been quiet on the radio since the caution came out. Just told the team I need a good stop is the primary concern for them as you see him hitting the pit stop. And the 20th, John Hunter Nemechek, a great recovery continuing for them. Needs a little bit of drive, but he does not want to hurt the turn in the race car, which sometimes happens when you fix that.
They dropped the jack a little early on the 00 of Cole Custer. The hose got caught underneath the right front fender, and as a result, they had to jack that car right back up again. So a tough break. Custer's going to lose a lot of spots. He was in 5th. Josh Berry easily wins the race off of pit road. John Nemechek was 2nd. Top 5 did not change order. Kaz Gralla up 1 spot. Custer lost 1 with that slow stop on the 00. And no other spot to the top 10 change position other than the 26 moving up 1, the 00 moving down 1. So we'll have a little under 25 laps to go when we get to the restart. Hanover Race, thanks for tuning in. There were some drivers that took the wave around. There were drivers that took the wave around that will be on old tires that are lapped down. Those drivers would be Chris Hacker, Kyle Sieg, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Sammy Smith, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer, Brett Moffitt, and Parker Retzlaff. All took the wave around to get back on the lead lap. Nemechek will win. We'll see. John Hunter Nemechek is the only driver with a win of those in the top 7 on this upcoming restart. And Austin Hill in 8th has 3 wins already this year. And nobody else in the top 17 has a win in the Xfinity Series season. There are only 3 drivers that are locked into the playoffs because of wins so far this season for the Xfinity Series. With Hill having 3, a Cup regular of A.J. Allmendinger winning at COTA last week. This is going to be a very interesting run to the checkered flag. $150 people watching right here at the end of this race. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, we will go live at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Truck Series live commentary after this. So a little less than 45 minutes away from the start of our second stream of the day. Again, the Truck Series will be racing at Texas. And our coverage begins at 4:30. Our Cup Series live commentary stream will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow as well. That race will be on Fox Sports 1. It'll be the first FS1 Cup race this season. Barry elects the inside lane. Now, he lost the lead on the bottom the last time, although that has been the preferred line by every driver so far that has been the control car for the restart. John Hunter Nemechek will be on the outside of row 1. Row 2, Brandon Jones will be on the inside, Chandler Smith on the outside. It was Brandon Jones who was on the outside of row 2 that beat Josh Berry on that last restart. We'll see if Berry can get going here. Maybe made some adjustments to try to help the short run car. He was talking earlier to the Fox booth during the stage 2 break that he was a little bit loose early in the run, which caused him to not fire off well on the restart. So they're going to mainly try to fix that, you'd have to imagine. Maybe drop the air pressure a little bit more. And we'll see who is going to get this Dash for Cash for the actual race win, as well as the $100,000 that is on the line for the 4 Dash for Cash drivers who have struggled throughout the course of today's race. 22 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. John Hunter Nemechek, pretty good restart on the outside. Brandon Jones did not fire off well on the inside of row 2. Makes a massive block on the 26 car on the bottom behind him. Door to door off turn 2. John Hunter Nemechek going to get the drive off, and he clears Josh Berry for the lead. It's the first time John Hunter has led all day. Chandler Smith gets to 3rd. Brandon Jones still side by side for 4th with Riley Herbst. And 2 by 2 is most of the field behind them. Top 3 single file have quickly pulled away from 4th on back. Can John Hunter Nemechek hold on for the win now over Josh Berry, who is in 2nd. Josh Berry gets contact from behind now on the left rear corner panel of his car from Chandler Smith. This is what Nemechek needs to see. Battle for 2nd going on behind him. A lot of stacking up going on in the middle of turns 3 and 4 further back. Nemechek is clear by about 5 or 6 car lengths. Into turn 1, Chandler Smith has cleared Josh Berry for 2nd. Middle of the corner, Berry gave him a shot, and there's contact behind. Herbst is in the wall. Brandon Jones got into him, and we have a caution. For the 5th time today, Brandon Jones and Riley Herbst get together in turn 1. Herbst backs it into the outside wall. Both drivers in the top 5 for most of the day. And Herbst has quite a bit of damage to the back of that race car. Have to imagine there was contact made, showing the replay to see what exactly happened. Herbst was on the outside getting into the corner. It looked like the 19 washed up the track into him. And then Cole Custer got a piece of the 9 as well after Jones was spinning in front of him. 24 car clipped the right front fender as well on the 9 of Jones. Looked like Brandon just kind of overshot the corner, slid up the racetrack right into him, and around both Brandon Jones and Riley Herbst went. Now Nemechek will be the control car in the restart. It'll be interesting if he elects the top or the bottom this time. And again, Chandler Smith got to 2nd ahead of Josh Berry. Free pass goes to Sam Mayer. Mayer will be back on the lead lap, and all those cars that took the wave around now can pit for tires further back, and they'll have a few lap fresher tires than the rest of the field, which could make a difference. At least for those drivers that get maybe inside the top 10. Caution bred once again, another caution. As we see at the end of these NASCAR races. More specifically in the Xfinity and Truck Series, but we see it bleed over the Cup at times like we did at COTA last weekend. So the leaders will stay out of the pits. Everybody that took the wave around will come in. They'll be taking tires. Caution is out for Brandon Jones and Riley Herbst getting together. After Brandon Jones had overdrove the entrance to turn 1, slid up the track into Herbst, around both cars went. Not that much damage on the 9 car, but the 98 of Herbst backed it into the outside wall pretty good. He definitely got the significant end of the contact between those two. Truck races at Texas today. They're running a doubleheader with IndyCar this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway. Second straight week that those teams will be out there. Of course, they were in Austin, just a couple hours south of Fort Worth last week, so a lot of those teams probably just stayed right there. Mamorat Horn, thanks for tuning in. See if we can get this stream to 100 likes before the end. We're at 68 right now, so be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Only about a third of you guys have hit the like button today out of those watching. And again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We have live commentary of the truck race coming up here in a little over a half hour on a separate stream. You'll get to hear from the winner of this Xfinity Series race today. We'll go through the full field finishing results as well before ending the stream. Usually let you guys listen to multiple interviews from multiple different drivers unless something super chaotic happens here where we'll probably want to hear an interview from multiple drivers, and we'll end the stream because we are getting close to the start of the truck race. Quick recap as to what has happened so far today. Sammy Smith led up until the competition caution before him and John Hunter Nemechek's teams decided not to take tires during the Comp Yellow. They stayed out. Both went a lap down before the end of Stage 1. And John Hunter Nemechek got the free pass position. Sammy Smith did not. Smith had been stuck a lap down this entire race because of no cautions for incident up until a yellow flag that wait for the 51 of Jeremy Clement stalling on pit road with just over 30 laps to go, which set up the most recent restart we just saw, where John Hunter Nemechek then was able to take the race lead away from Josh Berry to lead for the first time today. Because of this quick yellow, Sammy Smith, who took the wave round, can now pit for tires. He will be back on the lead lap, and he will more than likely be in a better spot than what he was. He was running lap times similar to the leaders, but he's going to be back in traffic. Still really no real shot for him to win. Led 40 laps earlier today. Chandler Smith has led the most so far with 71 laps led. Josh Berry has led 63 laps, second most. And your stage winners, Chandler Smith won Stage 1, Josh Berry won Stage 2. Berry's not been good on the short runs today, and this short run to the finish costed him the lead on the restart. But we'll see if he can have enough speed, if we have enough of a run on these tires to the end of the race. He was battling Smith for second for a while, which allowed John Hunter to pull away. But then we had another caution with Riley Herbst and Brandon Jones getting together, which is why we are currently under caution. And we're going to have even less laps to go in this next restart, which will only up the animosity between these drivers more. And the aggression level will definitely raise. But I have a little over 10 to go on the restart. I believe they'll be getting the 1 to go signal this time by. So we'll probably restart with 12 to go. Nemechek had the lead on the outside the last time. The last two restarts, in fact, the outside lane car has gotten to the lead. We're on the inside, the first three restarts, that driver has gotten to the lead. I don't blame Nemechek for taking the top or the bottom here, honestly. He'll take the bottom last second. Chandler Smith will be on the outside of row 1, and Josh Berry will be on the inside of row 2 with Kaz Grala, who will be up to 4th now after the wreck from Herbst and Jones in front of him. Great day for that 26. He's been in the top 10 all day, and a couple of drivers in front of him getting together, bringing out that caution. He has now jumped in the top 5. Cole Custer and Austin Hill will be in row 3 as well. Hill has been pretty much a non-factor all day along with Custer, but it's as high as we have seen Hill in the running order so far. 12 laps left on the restart. And again, it'll be John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith on the front row. Nemechek trying to get his second win of the season, trying to catch Hill for those playoff points, 5 awarded to the race winner. And if a win is granted by anybody who has not had a win so far this season, they will lock themselves into the Xfinity Series playoffs. Green flag is back in the air, an even launch between the top and bottom lane again. This could give the edge to Chandler Smith on the outside lane off of turn 2 if he can hold on. In the middle of the corner, a little bit of contact behind them with Austin Hill and Kaz Grala. Side by side for the lead off turn 2. Smith holds on. And it sounds like we have another caution further back. The 25 of Brett Moffitt has spun off turn 4. Another car sliding, almost gets clipped, was the 45. I'm not sure who had the lead when the caution flag came out. 11 to go, caution out again. Brett Moffitt spun on the opening lap following the restart off turn 4. Our 6th caution of the day. Contact with Ellis in the 43. 3 wide getting into turn 3. And Moffitt kind of crowded him a little bit. There was contact and that turned Moffitt around. A lot of damage on Joe Graff Jr.'s car. He has been beaten up all day. Justin Allgaier is still the leader of the drivers racing for the Dash for Cash. He is in 12th. And then Sam Mayer is in 19th right now. Sammy Smith will get the free pass. I guess he did not take the wave round earlier with a lot of those other drivers like I thought. He will have fresher tires now to the end of the race. Remember, that team has that extra set. So they will put that set on right now. We're only going to have a restart with a handful of laps left. It's going to be tough for him to get many more positions out of this. He is in 23rd. So Chandler Smith was scored as the race leader through the last timing loop when the caution flag had come out for Brett Moffitt spinning off of turn 4. So now Chandler Smith will be the control car in the restart. He did not clear John Hunter Nemechek, but he was ahead just enough at the right time when that caution flag came out that now he will be the control car. Will he take the top or the bottom?
Smith takes control on what could be the final restart. Here's John Hunter Nemechek talking about that last restart when he took the inside lane.
They gotta review that. And he tried to jump in the start too. Yeah, he was a better ahead of you in the box. Hey, make sure you say something. That's like he rolled way faster, and I waited because he jumped.
Talking about the restart, there's always some gamesmanship going on, in the restart zone, and the restart zones are, this is a smaller restart zone. The leader's going to fire somewhere in there. The rule is supposed to be side by side. It's tough for NASCAR to make these calls, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, they looked pretty even if I remember back correctly to what I saw in the box, and it's okay to beat the leader to the line. So if it's close, I don't think NASCAR gets in the middle of it.
If it's something obvious.
Oh, there we go.
Chandler
16
Smith
to the top.
goes outside.
So there you go. Chandler Smith will take the outside lane again for the restart, but this time he'll be the control car. That's the big thing. John Hunter Nemechek will be on the bottom of row 1. Kaz Grala going to try the outside of row 2 once again. And then Josh Berry once again will be on the inside of row 2. Cole Custer will be on the inside of row 3. Austin Hill on the outside of row 3. So the restart this time versus the last time exactly the same with the front 3 rows. Same order, which drivers are on the top and bottom lanes. We'll have 6 laps to go this time. Will this be the final restart of the day? We'll have to wait and see. So Smith will lead them into the Geico restart zone, looking for his first win. Lost a heartbreaker late at Las Vegas a few weeks ago. Trying for redemption here today at Richmond. Green flag back in the air. Good launch by the 16 on the top. A lot of blocking going on just outside the top 10 between the 02 and the 7 on the bottom lane. 3 wide now. Austin Hill gets bounced around almost into the outside wall after contact with Custer. 26 slipped by into 4th. Chandler Smith is side by side for the lead off turn 4. He will be clear of John Hunter Nemechek now. 5 laps to go. Nemechek on the back bumper of Chandler Smith into turn 1. Smith tries to block. He gets hit from behind. Up the hill goes Chandler Smith. Bump and run for John Hunter Nemechek. Side by side again off the exit of turn 2, and Josh Berry's closing in third. 4 to go, this time by around the 3/4 mile short track. Chandler Smith chops the entry off a little bit on the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek. Holding him very tightly again, he beats him back to the gas, and Smith is clear nearly at the start-finish line. Nemechek with a very heavy side draft on that left rear corner panel as they cross the stripe. Into turns 1 and 2. Door-to-door for the lead. Smith gets the drive off, and Nemechek going to have to drop in line in second place behind him. Josh Berry is about 3 car lengths back of the lead, and he closes heavily in turns 3 and 4 on John Hunter. Chandler Smith has had a great short-run car all day long. He leads with 3 laps to go. He's got a 2-car length advantage into turn 1 over the 20. And the 26 car in 4th of Kaz Gralla is closing the gap now on Josh Berry for 3rd. Nemechek a little better through 1 and 2 than Smith that last time. Smith has been in this situation trying to play defense on a JGR Toyota late in a race. Can he get the job done today? 2 to go. Nemechek a little better in 1 and 2, but Chandler Smith 2 laps in a row better in 3 and 4. Josh Berry closes on the 20. Not going to be able to get to his bumper that time. Nemechek gets good acceleration again off turn 2. Car length difference into 3 and 4 as they come to the white flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Chandler Smith leads. John Hunter Nemechek is 2nd and Josh Berry is 3rd. 4th place is Kaz Gralla, all within a second of the lead. Nemechek widens his arc out quite a bit on his entry into turn 1 that time. A lot flatter line for the 16 on the bottom. Nemechek closing the gap. Into turns 3 and 4. Can Nemechek get to the bumper? He's too far back. He's not going to be able to do it. It's going to be Chandler Smith getting his first win of 2023. Nemechek almost into the wall off turn 4 as he was trying desperately hard to get to the bumper and couldn't do it. Chandler Smith gets his first win of the season, locking himself into the Xfinity Series playoffs. Back-to-back wins for Colleague Racing after Allmendinger won the week before. Chandler Smith is going to be able to capitalize on these late race restarts, beating Nemechek 2 restarts in a row on the outside to get the win. You'll get to hear from Chandler Smith with the front stretch interview. Two hours, 9 minutes, 27 seconds total time on today's race through the 250 laps, 187 miles. Average race speed of 86.56 miles per hour. Margin of victory, 0.2 of a second over John Hunter Nemechek. Chandler Smith led the most laps today, 83 laps led, and gets the victory. 6 cautions total in today's race as well, as we had 7 different leaders for 11 different lead changes. Make that 12. 12 lead changes with the 7 different leaders in today's race. Chandler Smith gets 6 playoff points with the win and also won Stage 1. Josh Berry won Stage 2. And here is Chandler Smith.
I wonder how drivers would react when they win for the first time. You never know, right? Some people are big about it. Some people are just kind of like, eh. I like seeing the emotion.
Thank you. Here's Chris Rice, president.
That kid is amazing.
At Colleague Racing, Matt Colleague there. 21 wins for them now all time. 5 different drivers have gotten it done, and they've now gone back-to-back. Last week it was the Dinger. Today, Chandler Smith. Regan.
Well, Adam, he came so close in Las Vegas earlier this season to getting his first career win. Chandler, you had a great short-run car all day long. You got it out front. How good does this one feel, bud?
Feels great. This goes to testimony just to Vegas. Dominated that race. Didn't win. Said it was all in God's timing. He's in something creating way bigger and better than I know to do with. Here we are in Richmond, my favorite racetrack, as we're sitting in victory lane. So all glory goes to God. Thank you, Chris Rice, Matt Colleague, Quicktime Products, my smoking hot wife. Everybody on Colleague Racing, Bruce, This is unbelievable.
Chandler Smith wins at Richmond.
And you know,
Here with John Hunter Nemechek comes in runner-up to your former teammate Chandler Smith. Is there any more you could have done at the end to get in front and get the win?
We weren't very good on the short run. We had a long run speed car and came from the back up there to battle for the win, put ourselves in position, and just proud of everyone on this number 20 Toyota GR Super team for Joe Gibbs Racing. Safeway colors look great, and our car coming from the back was as fast as Xfinity 10G. So disappointed to run runner-up again. That's the last 3 races here I've run second, so frustrating, but we'll go back to work. We just got to figure out how to execute a little bit better, and 16 had the best car on the short run. It's going to be hard to hold him off. Even early on, he'd fire off and then drop back. So just one of those days, but good points day for us, I think. Should have moved up a couple spots, and just is what it is. Disappointed, but we'll take it and move on to the next one.
Another run-up finish for John Hunter Nemechek at Richmond.
We'll go through your full field finishing order for today's ToyotaCare 250 at the Richmond International Raceway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Chandler Smith is your race winner today. John Hunter Nemechek finishes in second. Josh Berry third. Kaz Grala with a career-high fourth-place finish in the Xfinity Series. Cole Custer ends up fifth. Sheldon Creed sixth. Ryan Seek finishes seventh. Parker Kligerman in eighth. Austin Hill in ninth, and then Derek Krause in his first start gets a top 10 with Coley Grayson as well in the number 10. Alex LeMay finishes 11th, Jeb Burton 12th, Justin Allgaier 13th, Chris Hacker 14th, Ryan Ellis 15th, Parker Retzlaff 16th, Sam Mayer in 17th. 18th place was Jeffrey Earnhardt, Sammy Smith 19th, Kyle Sieg in 20th, Brandon Jones 21st, Brett Moffitt in 22nd, Riley Herbst 23rd. First car lap down was Daniel Hemrick in 24th, Leland Honeyman in 25th, Blaine Perkins 26th, Joey Gase 27th, Connor Mosack 28th, Patrick Emmerly 29th, and Garrett Smithley 30th. Mason Maggio in 31st, Stephen Parsons in 32nd, Josh Williams 33rd, 34th was Brendan Poole, Greg Golding 35th, Jeremy Clements 36th, Joe Graff Jr. 37th, and Anthony Alfredo was the only driver that DNF'd today as he finished in 38th. Justin Allgaier wins your Dash for Cash with his 13th place finish. He is with Josh Sims.
What does this mean to you? What are you going to do with the money?
Well, this goes back to the race team to try to help make sure that our brand fashion agriculture Camaro can be as good as we've been all year moving forward. But a weird day today. We didn't fire off as quite as good as we'd hoped for, but they kept working. Jim Pullman and the boys down there in the pit box just kept working. Great pit stops all day. And it was such a weird race. We pitted under green there trying to go for the win, and ultimately it bit us, and then it was just hanging on. We weren't really sure what was going to happen. But, luckily we were able to hold everybody off. It's weird finishing 13th and still be standing here holding this check. The other guys had a rough day, but, I put this in next week again as well for the Dash for Cash. So huge thanks to Xfinity for all they do for this sport. We weren't as fast as Xfinity 10G today, but definitely hats off to Chandler. That team, they've done a great job all year. So cool to see him get his first win. And 2 teammates that led a lot of the day. So, it's disappointing to finish 13th, but cool to be taking on the check.
5th time winning the Dash for the Cash for Justin Allgaier.
and he'll have a chance to make it 6 when we head to Martinsville.
Yep, so the 4 drivers who will be running for the Dash for Cash in Martinsville in 2 weeks, Allgaier won, so he actually does get a chance to race for it again, even though he did not finish in the top 4 today. So then the top 3 finishers behind him, Chandler Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, and Josh Berry, who finished 1 through 3, will also have a shot at the Dash for Cash at Martinsville in 2 weeks. Appreciate everybody tuning in for this live commentary stream. The running of the SpeedyCash.com 250 at the Texas Motor Speedway will begin at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're 20 minutes away from the start of that stream, so we're going to end this one right here. And again, Truck Series live commentary, bottom of the hour. Cup Series tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already on the stream. Subscribe again for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys here in a few.